Добрейшего всем вечерочка. Продолжаем с вами прохождение Council. Я сегодня прямо аж взбодрился перед стримом, другим мини-стримом. Кто не смотрел, еще обязательно посмотрите. Захватывающее зрелище. Вот. Поэтому полон сил и энергии продолжать. Поехали. Встретитесь со всеми в малой гостиной. Я ж так понимаю, что здесь я все собрал, да? Блин, начиналось все легко и просто. А сейчас нету банок с медом вообще.
What's the matter, Louis?
I have news about your sister.
What have you found out?
Look,
Она мертва.
I've started piecing together the events leading up to my mother's disappearance and your sister's. Did my mother know about your secret?
Yes, even though I belong to the English chapter, her rank in the Order gives her access to a good deal of personal information.
Must have been Emma I saw in my vision.
I was given to understand that my mother and your sister bonded during their stay.
Не выдавать матушку. Блин, ну че... Ну да, если я ее сейчас выдам, то она настроится против меня, в том числе лично. И мне не будет помогать.
If mother's really killed her sister, I'd better find her by myself. They say they spent a lot of time together. They got along well.
Oh, really? Do you think your mother liked Duchess Hillsborough?
Of course she did. After all, she's your sister. Well, we'll find them, Emily. Trust me.
Should I speak to her about my vision? If what I saw is true, she might want to take revenge.
Чисто в теории надо помолчать, я так думаю. Но потом же это вскроется по-любому. Да, народ. Не, давайте промолчим. Открыта новая черта, зато осторожный. Уклонение плюс одно очко. Так-то мы ничего уже здесь прокачались. Нам по факту осталось вот одно очко в языка знаний, и мы вообще все можем.
Come, Louis. They're waiting for us.
Только надо сокращать все. Так, подождите, еще я хотел... эти я уже минус 3 очка сделал. Да, поэтому нам надо вот эти сейчас прокачивать по максимуму, который возможно будет. То есть, там... Где? Вот здесь 3 очка, сразу сюда 3 запендюрить надо. Я надеюсь, что дальше будет больше давать очков опыта.
You will pay dearly, Peru. I'm sure you were involved somewhere along the line.
That's right. Pretend you don't know. One piece of advice. Don't travel through France on your way back, or it'll cost you dearly.
Calm now, my friends. Let's calm down. Everyone seems to be a little unnecessarily heated. Don't forget where you are, please.
What's going on here exactly?
Sir Gregory called us together to introduce the last guest.
But hardly had we arrived when he set upon Monsieur Peru.
Опачки. Ну да.
And what has Mr. Peru done to once again provoke someone's anger?
We don't really know just yet.
I get the feeling it won't be long before it gets out.
How could you dare do such a thing? Dios mío, you are all out of your minds.
Really, Duke Manuel? What made you kick up such a fuss?
What? Have you not heard? Well, let me inform you that yesterday morning at 10:22 a.m. precisely, in the middle of the Place de la Révolution in Paris, by decree of the National Convention which Monsieur Peru works for, King Louis was guillotined. What?
Oh, no.
The King of France is dead, gentlemen. Our monarchies are in danger. I have said it before.
How dare they?
Oh, dear.
Oh, as if...
Friends, let us calm down.
Don't pretend to be surprised. He got a fair trial.
Ridiculous! Bastard! He was sentenced to death by 361 votes. to 360. You beheaded a king for one vote! Is that your democracy?
What an obnoxious act. Until this, anything was possible. This political coup will have grave consequences.
France is lost.
Gentlemen, please. Let us take a step back a moment.
In the name of holiness. He was the highest representative of God in France, Emily.
Хотелось бы
If I
подумать о
remember
последствиях.
rightly, what Mother told me one night, King Louis was secretly also part of the Order. I wonder what impact his death will have on us.
Sad news, sir.
With whom do I have the pleasure of speaking?
Louis Maras de Richer.
Are you related to Sarah de Richer?
Sarah is his mother, Duke. Gentlemen, this news affects us all, but I must ask you to remain calm. It's not the first time history has taken us by surprise. Let's ensure that our respective countries are allowed to respond appropriately to this news.
Oh, rest assured. The response will not fall short, my friend.
Good for you. Well, Your Grace, here I was preparing to introduce you, as is proper, and you've beaten me to it. I'm delighted that we are all together at last. Our meeting will therefore be able to kick off shortly. I have just a few more little preparations to take care of before you all find out the reason for your presence here. In the meantime, I shall leave you to get to know one another. When you hear the bell, please proceed to the conclave room on my left, behind that door. I'll see you later.
Да. Знатно не шмели. Так, Годой Мануэль. Мануэль Годой — первый министр Испании. Став фаворитом испанского короля Карла IV, Годой быстро добился успеха на политическом поприще. Он состоит в интимных отношениях с королевой Марией Луизой Пармской, чему завидуют многие испанские принцы. Получив должность первого министра, Годой расширил и укрепил испанскую колониальную империю, особенно владения в Северной и Южной Америке. Дружил с королем Франции Людовиком XVI, которого пытался спасти после свержения, но безуспешно. С тех пор ненавидит французское республиканское правительство. Годой прибыл в особняк лорда Мортимера по приглашению сэра Грегори Холма, чтобы остановить экспансию США в Северной Америке.
Would you spare a moment, please, sir?
I'm glad you asked. I want to talk to you too.
Of course.
I heard about your mother's disappearance.
He looks concerned. I don't know why, but I doubt it's from sympathy alone. Well, let's see what he wants from me.
Any news of her? Have you found her, maybe?
Она дорога. Да нет,
Why? Is there something you particularly wanted from her?
No, not specially.
My questions made him feel uneasy, but he's keeping his emotions under control.
Your mother and I used to often speak together. I have rarely met someone so learned. To tell you the truth, I was about to make a deal with her. Did she tell you about our arrangement?
Так, манипулирование. А у него что? Слабость уклонения. Давайте обманем.
But I was hoping that you could tell me more about it.
Well, she was planning to sell me a very old book. I will make no secret of the fact that I am passionate about the subject. And when Sarah spoke to me about it, her account literally had me enthralled. I can think of nothing else since. You might have come across some old books in her belongings, perhaps?
Нет. Так, психология, манипулирование. Рассказать или нет? Ну давайте, рискнем.
Quite old, with locks on every chapter.
Oh no, I'm sorry, sir. This one is the Mysterium Cosmographicum, a book she is particularly fond of.
Oh, no.
Черт.
That's not the one.
Poor man's disgusted. I shouldn't play with his nerves.
А, не, нормально.
I'll look again.
You seem very upset.
Is it so important to you, this book?
Well, it's the search of a lifetime. What can I say? Every time I move closer to it, it seems to slip away at the last minute. I was very surprised to learn that your mother had it in her possession. I thought it was with a certain von Borchardt in Paris. Do you know him?
Так, манипулирование. А мы про него ничего не знаем. Оккультизм и уклонение. Манипулирование это к оккультизму, да, относится, да.
Indeed.
Давайте спросим.
One of your close friends?
No, not really, but we were close once. Precisely over the case that concerns us now, because he claimed to have the book I'm looking for.
Another dishonest
О,
person.
вообще успешненько.
What can you say? Can't trust anyone these days, huh?
No, you can't.
I hope I've been able to satisfy your curiosity, Mr. von Volner, and that you succeed in finding what you're looking for.
Oh, and so do I.
And now, what if you told me who you really are working for, instead of keeping up this pretense?
I beg your pardon?
We both know what you're looking for, von Volner. You're the one who von Burchard was planning to sell it to.
For centuries, all those who have come into contact with the Al-Azif have bitterly regretted it, Monsieur de Richet. You are playing a dangerous game. Please know that I am working for someone who does not appreciate anyone poking around in his business.
Let me guess.
Я думаю, что
You're
это король
too king, I
Пруссии.
should think.
What? You mean Frederick William? Oh, my poor fellow. You are miles away. That stupid, pretentious puppet wields no real power. But seeing as you do not wish to be serious, so be it. Good luck to you.
Да. Неудача. Узнайте, о чем говорится в записке. Какой, блядь, записке? О. Мне кажется, они появляются, потому что я же здесь был. О. Ну, вот это надо достать.
Chronicles of the Amber Princess. As I recall, Dorkin was my favorite character.
Странно, я думал, он подберется. Так, в этой малой зале мы были, потом пошли сюда, если мне память не изменяет. Там еще Наполеон сидит, надо с ним потрахтеть, наверняка. Медок, мне нужен медок.
Monsieur Bonaparte, may I speak with you a moment?
May we?
Давайте о
Would you have
собрании
any
спросим.
more information about the conference Lord Mortimer spoke of?
Nothing at all. Mortimer is very committed to secrecy when it comes to his conferences. But given the presence of Monsieur Peru and ourselves, I think it must concern France to some extent. Otherwise, I doubt he would have invited 3 Frenchmen to his table, huh?
Ну да, логично.
Does expression go beyond the nightmare mean anything to you at all?
А, точно.
Metaphorically, yes. It sums up the career of a soldier quite well. I doubt that is what you want to hear, though.
Indeed. That's surely not what I'm looking for.
Well, monsieur, if you are looking for a phrase book, Lord Mortimer must surely have one, given the number of books he has. You ought to check in the library of the tower. You never know.
Неплохо.
What do you think of Duke Godoy?
Well, I'd rather not express any opinion of him.
Why's that?
His reputation is enough for me.
Так, он у нас с допросом же нет. Политика и убеждения у него.
I'm sure that a soldier such as yourself is not interested in vulgar rumors.
Quite right. If only this cursed gossip didn't come to stain the uniform he has the audacity to wear.
Don't you find him worthy?
But how could he be, monsieur? He never sets foot on the battlefield, too occupied with charming the queen. Have you any idea of the number of titles that coward has won in just a few years?
No, not really.
10! And that Don Juan spends the best part of his time under the queen's skirts. The bugger must have some hidden talent, given all of the gifts she gives him.
I understand your point of view.
Да уж.
Well, I'll be leaving you now. Shall we meet up again later?
Wait, monsieur. Any news of your mother?
Unfortunately not, no.
I hope to speak with her about my deal before I leave. Let me know if you find her. À plus tard, monsieur.
Давай, давай. А, Прутар, или как там? Опа.
Amber.
То есть, короче, я могу уже есть и есть и есть и есть. Мед. А у меня всего он один. А, сюда еще и нельзя. Крутяк. Так, в библиотеку нам надо, чтобы понять, что скрывается за ночным кошмаром. Так, ну мы еще здесь пробежимся разок. А тут, видите, монеты появляются из ниоткуда. Оп.
Crucifixion of St. Peter. He was crucified upside down, out of
Мы
humility.
смотрели.
Surprising for an entrance hall.
Че, метка-то нету, а, нигде. Оно и как нужен-то сейчас. Че, с Вашингтоном потрахтеть?
Go beyond the nightmare. Does this line remind you of anything in particular?
You caught me unaware here, Louis. Let me think about it a second. No, nothing comes to mind. Sorry, Louis, but I am unable to help you.
Mr. President, what do you think about your counterpart, Duke Manuel?
I'm very surprised he was able to accept Lord Mortimer's invitation, given the political situation in Spain.
Какую, мать его, обстановку?
The situation is ready to explode with France over Catalonia.
Well, the Duke must have a darn good reason to be absent and come here, mustn't he?
When Lord Mortimer invites you, Louis, you come. It's always in your best interest.
I wouldn't say that personally, but...
Mr. President, can you tell me a little more about the coming conference?
Of course, Louis. That's why we're here. Lord Mortimer or Sir Gregory regularly organize meetings like this to put forward major projects.
What do you mean by major projects?
I'd prefer to let Lord Mortimer explain that to you, Louis. Let's say he brings together influential people in order to consider possible actions to undertake to guarantee the future of nations.
Do you know the theme of the conference?
Not in the slightest. None of the guests know the theme before arriving. But you'll see, everything will turn out fine. Don't worry.
Well, thank you for your time.
Ничего толком полезного он мне не сказал.
Regarding your question on the nightmare, don't hesitate to question the others about it. Maybe one of them knows more than I do.
That's a good idea. Thank you once again. I'll see you in a little bit.
Так. Ну а что, нам не остается ничего иного, как подниматься наверх. Опа. Хотя подождите. А это у нас куда ведет, дайте-ка вспомнить. Бабочки. Вспомнил, куда это ведет. Здесь даже, может быть, мы и найдем.
Circe preparing wine. What better trap for Ulysses?
Тут все картины с Цирцеей связанные. Это я помню. Еще и бабочки бесстрашные. Че, метка-то нет, ребят? Срочно нужен мед. Нет.
A swine in a salon? That's an odd choice of decor.
Да, странный выбор для просмотра.
Ah, Louis. Just the man. Good lord. How did the king come to be executed? I would think that the order would have intervened.
Так, этикет или логика? А к чему у нас подвержен вообще? Где он у нас есть? Вот он. Вообще непонятно, к чему он подвержен. Во, устойчивость.
Your Eminence, I haven't been following the case. I'm sure that the order did everything in its power. Unfortunately, you know the situation in Paris, and, well, it's chaotic at best. Anything can happen in those revolutionary tribunals.
The king is the official representative of God on earth, my son.
Your Eminence, France has become a secular state. The king was just another citizen to them. He refused to admit his errors, looked down upon them, and attempted to escape. What did he expect?
France has lost all reason, Louis.
I invite you to speak about it with my mother as soon as she reappears.
Is there any news of her?
Да ни хера не известно.
Well, I hope it won't be long before I find her, Your Eminence.
Now you wanted to speak to me.
I'm sure a man like you is in the circle of trust. Would you know what the conference that Lord Mortimer mentioned is going to be about?
Not really, my son. Well, be it Lord Mortimer or Sir Gregory, we are never informed about the theme of the conference before it begins.
If I say the nightmare to you, does it make you think of anything?
Your question is strange, my son. Difficult to say. Could you at least tell me a little more about the context?
Контекст. Слабость.
Think of a place and tell me the first thing that comes into your mind when I say the nightmare.
Let me think. I'd say Lord Mortimer's favorite painting on the wall behind his desk.
О,
You know, that painting caused quite a stir when it was exhibited. It is titled The Nightmare, and it shows a woman lying down with a creature sitting on her, and in the background, a horse. I don't know if it will be of any help,
конечно, помог.
but I can't think of anything else.
You never know. Thank you for that, though, Your Eminence. I gotta go and see it just in case, though.
Крутяк.
I
О,
was
надо спросить.
wondering what to think of that Manuel Godoy.
He is reputed to be a very ambitious character, at every level. But his faith is unwavering. He is a staunch defender of the church. You can believe me.
Так, ну мы заодно можем проверить. Блин, на одну тратить, чтобы узнать его амбиции.
Thank you for everything, Your Eminence.
Смысла нет.
I shan't take up any more of
Я
your
так
time.
думаю.
You are welcome, my son. I will be seeing you, Louis.
Так, то есть... Мы узнали, о чем говорится в записке. Опа. Взломать. Блин. Нахер вот эти осколки янтаря сейчас не нужны. Так, я как раз пришел в библиотеку. А по-моему, я так и шел до кабинета. А, нет, не так я шел до кабинета. Ну, куда-то сейчас попаду, это факт. Так, ничего здесь не светится. Медуза здесь, точно, медуза. Гаргона.
Celia. That name means nothing to me.
Это ни о чем не говорит.
Ah, François Ier. The song of Roland. Roland feeleth his death is near. His brain is oozing by either ear. With his brain oozing, it's already remarkable that he can feel anything.
Так, я хочу попасть опять туда. А туда нельзя попасть. Почему-то. О, шкатулочка.
Devil's Thorn. I'll keep it.
Якорцы. Которые мне нафиг не нужны. Грусть, печаль, конечно. Опа. А это что такое? Резерв Мануэль Дюк де Алауда. Что-то.
Christ Crucified by Velasquez. Look, someone's left a note there. Reserved for the Duke of Alquidia.
Любопытно. Так, а вот здесь-то мы, получается, и не были.
There's the alchemical symbol of the earth on the lid.
Ну, ломать. И все. Медик, это да. Предмет загадочные заметки. Так. Что за загадочные заметки? Якорцы. Ну, пригодятся еще якорцы. Слесарное мастерство. Вопрос. Куда это все? А, вот она. Хитрость. Хитрость +1. Опачки. Очень интересно, где мы находимся. Золотой эликсир нам действительно не нужен. На улицу не надо. Медок. Я полагаю, что надо хотя бы один съесть. Он нам пригодится. Могли сюда что-нибудь засунуть. Ну так вот, что, пойдем наверх, к нему в кабинет, или посмотрим, куда эта дверь ведет? Наверное, посмотрим, куда эта дверь ведет. А, она заперта. Вопрос сразу решен. Так, надо посмотреть, что у нас там с пропуском кадров. Нету? Нет, нету, все хорошо. Так, я чуть не понял. Ясно. Даже так. А я не через все лестницы просто ходил под дело. Так, нам направо. Правильно же понял, да?
Monsieur Johann van Vulner.
Фон Вольнер. Так, я хотел в настройках, кстати... А, нет, никак не убавлю видео. Ну, блять, не может у меня видеокарта брать и тупить на этой игре.
So, what did my mother mean by going beyond the nightmare?
Что она имела в виду? Что имела в виду? Опа, монеточку сразу нашел. Сколько нас? 25 штук. Е-мое. Их реально здесь, походу, сотня.
Dante's Purgatory. Why does your mind presume to flight when you're still like the perfect grub?
О, а вот здесь не читал.
The book of the Mortimer family.
Просто родословная, да, книга. Чё, кто свистит? Кто-то свистел. А, это распятие Рубенса. Попугай, блядь, что там тарахтит. Опа.
No, what have we got here? Oh, it looks like a model of a lock. It's as if Mortimer is fond of complicating things sometimes. Well, I hope I never have to try and unlock it. Let's take a closer look.
Бобы? Как эти кофейные. А, нет, конфеты.
Judging by the shape, I'd say they're Criollo cocoa beans. The chocolate of the Mayas. The rarest of the beans. Some even say they're an aphrodisiac. When a product is in fashion, people attribute all sorts of virtues to it. Not to be given to animals. Dark chocolate beans. Very bitter. They're greatly prized in high society.
Походу, попугая надо будет накормить. Так, счета, еда. 8000 свеч, 6000, нихера себе. Мрамор 8600, дрова. Подлинники картин. Нихера себе. В следующем году урезать расходы на дрова. Ну да, на дрова что-то вообще жесть. Мистер Палетти, пишу вам касательно датировки картин, которые вы получили от меня на время выставки. Примите во внимание, что они входят в мою коллекцию и датированы по масонскому календарю. Как вы могли уже догадаться, вам следует вычесть 4000 из каждой даты, если не хотите привести посетителей в замешательство. Напоминаю, что масонское летоисчисление начинается с марта, а не с января. Ё-моё. Так, надо где-то записывать. Так. 4000 минус от даты. С марта. Что касается картины с Лонгином, я взял на себя смелость подправить копье, чтобы оно больше походило на настоящее. Настаиваю, чтобы вы поступили так же. Искренне ваш, лорд Уильям Александр Мортимер. Ёпт. Часы какие-то, блядь, интересные. Гильотина. Часы гильотина. О. А это что такое? Красную смородину, что ли? Лечить?
That's what you generally feed birds. Might come in handy.
Могут. Птичку можно покормить. Так. Здесь вроде все. А, он там что у нас?
It's a book on the history of the Crusades. I don't think it has any connection with my research. The Nightmare painted by Fuseli in 1781. Ah, this must be what my mother was talking about. Now just need to find out what she meant by go beyond.
Да, такую картину вообще хер подэтываешь.
Hey, looks like it's mounted on rails on each side. It should lift up, I think. There must be a mechanism somewhere.
Так, ну первым делом. Птичка.
A mynah bird.
Нет, покормить. Дать красные ягодки. Давай поговорим.
Sarah de Riche? Waldo, you know Sarah? What? Repeat that, Waldo. Sarah? What about Sarah? Good God, what's been happening here?
Так.
Well, Waldo, is your master good? I don't really know what I was expecting.
То есть еще раз его покормить, да, надо? Давай дадим конфету.
What have I done? Looks like I've killed him. Oh, shit. I better not hang around.
Да уж. А механизм-то вот он оказался.
Aha, I found it. Oh, what on earth is this? A ring lock now? Great. That's all I needed.
Ага, дата нужна. Год. И в каком году она была написана? Пам-пам-пам. Фунт. Да уж. Задачка.
This painting isn't finished. And it looks like Mortimer probably did it. Not bad, but you can't exactly say it's been done in the style of the period. History of the First Crusades by Pierre Amédée de la Salle. Hey, the dates indicate AL, and it looks like 4,000 years have been added to our calendar. That counting system again.
Так,
The
подумать
author
об
is
авторе.
Pierre Amédée de la Salle, none other than the Grand Master of the Masonic Lodge of Paris. Now I understand why the dates are offset. He's using dates based on the Annalusis, year 0 of the Masonic calendar, by adding 4,000 years to the Gregorian calendar. But I thought that calendar starts in March.
С марта и начинается.
The
Изучить
Crusades
даты.
took place not long after the year 1000. Here all the dates say 5,000 and something. I'm guessing this dating system begins 4,000 years before the calendar that we use. Yet, I'm getting the feeling that there's something else, another small detail, but what is it?
Да уж.
The famous call of Pope Urban II. 20 years after the capture of Jerusalem from the Arabs by the Turks, Urban II convened the council. He promises a plenary indulgence to Christians who go and get Jerusalem back from the Turks. The result, the Jewish community on the road to Jerusalem found itself persecuted for no reason. 12,000 Jews would perish, not to mention the massacre of Ma'ara, where acts of cannibalism by Frankish crusaders were reported, or even the capture of Jerusalem, where approximately 30,000 were left dead. It signaled the beginning of centuries of wars of religion.
Так, 1096, 1099. Промежуток нам
How
дан.
Louis VII, King of France, eager to be pardoned for the death of thousands of innocent people in the fire of the Church of Vitry, convinces the Pope to authorize him to lead his own crusade. The result? In Germany, a new outburst of violence against the Jewish community, and a monumental fiasco by poor Louis VII, cuckolded by his wife's uncle.
1147, 1149. Ну и третья
The famous
комбинация.
call from Pope Gregory VIII
1179.
in his Audita Tremendi Bull of 5,187. Oh, the crusade where Richard the Lionhearted distinguished himself. It states the first sea blockade of Saint-Jean d'Acre was broken in the 12th month of 5,190 AL, whereas the siege had been going on for 2 years.
И 1187, 1192. Короче, комбинация у нас тьма. Подсказок у нас ни херища нет.
No, what have we got here? Well, it looks like a model of a lock. As if Mortimer is fond of complicating things sometimes.
Счета за 1792 год. Так, 1792. Это текущий год, я как понимаю.
A painting depicting the Third Crusade. It's titled Winter Before the Fall of Saint-Jean d'Acre.
Перед падением Акры.
The siege of Saint-Jean d'Acre was a major conflict during the Third Crusade. Richard the Lionheart and Philip Augustus fought to take the town back. It was the Crusaders' first operation to
В
take back the
третьем
kingdom
походу
of
все
Jerusalem.
сходится.
I get the impression I've seen that before. In fact, I've read something on the Crusades before in the study. He clearly loves the subject.
Угу. Нет, изучать сцену мы не будем.
William Alexander Mortimer I, the 12th month of Anna Lucis, 5,190. That's a funny date. That date in 5,000 is something again. I wonder what in the world it means.
Давайте потратим.
Anna Lucis. 12th month is February? So that makes it February
1191 года.
1191.
То есть, может быть, 0291? Давайте затестим. Заметить деталь.
It's a complex mechanism. Looks like the third ring is a bit seized up. It gets stuck on number 9.
Так,
well, I got it wrong.
Not.
It doesn't matter.
Ну, то есть 9 точно нам нужна. Так, это идти. 1191. Ха! Изи.
Open sesame.
Но, правда, пришлось потратить немножко. Нифига себе, как клево.
Let's see what you've been hiding, Lord Murderer.
Лорд Мортимер, с сожалением сообщает, что давление России с каждым днем становится сильнее. Императрица Екатерина сделает все, чтобы граф Прованский стал регентом французского королевства, поскольку король Людвиг сошел с политической сцены. Простите за дурные вести, но готовьтесь к темным временам. Ваш друг Эльфрид Бауэр. Так.
A fine-looking map of the Orient, indeed.
Что карта Востока. О, бочонки. Сэр, мы поддержим ваше намерение вмешаться в политику Бельгии. Я беру на себя прусскую армию. Отправив пушки в Альми, вы обеспечили нам победу. Как мы и договаривались, прусский король предупрежден о нападении Кюстина из Северной армии. Я не пущу австрийцев в Бельгию. Сейчас же мне нужно вернуться в Париж. Боюсь, королю Людвигу уготована печальная участь. Я считаю своим долгом вмешаться. Если позволите написать мне письмо, передайте его, как обычно, через нашего друга месье Перю. Искренне ваш Шарль Франсуа Дюмурье, генерал Северной армии. Понятно. Понятно. Что ничего не понятно. Прошу прощения. Так, лорд Мортимер. Да что такое? Лорд Мортимер, прошу вас убедить президента Вашингтона не подписывать закон о беглых рабах в нынешнем виде. Этот вопрос нужно решать на национальном уровне, а не в каждом штате отдельности. Законопроект мог бы разрешить конфликт между Пенсильванией и Вирджинией, но подписав его, мы рискуем узаконить охоту на негров. Все больше людей отправляются на поиски беглых рабов, никого не находят и похищают первого попавшегося негра, чтобы выдать его за сбежавшего раба. Напряжение в стране стремительно растет. Заранее благодарю за помощь. Джон Адамс. ТПС передать привет моей дочери. Угу. Несправедливость кругом. Бочонок меда. Милорд, надеюсь, вы получили это письмо. Мои дни сочтены. Типографию конфисковали, а меня затащили в Шлишельской Бургской крепости. Если вам удастся вмешаться и вызволить меня, я буду перед вами в вечном долгу. В ближайшее время Екатерина закроет все ложки Золотого Ордена в Империи. Все ложи, а не ложки, ё-моё. Наше будущее представляется весьма мрачным. С надеждой на спасение ваш друг Николай Новиков. Из России пишет ему. Северная Америка. Это Африка.
Moreover, it shows a fair number of sea voyages being organized towards the American continent. No doubt with slaves. How many men are broken in this trade? Tens of thousands each year, according to what people say. It shows the forces present in Africa. This is unexpected activity in this sector. It looks like there are also many unknowns, even for Mortimer.
Так. Бочонок меда надо не выпить.
Weakness of the Human Psyche by Guillaume Trimore.
Всеведающие. Это где такое? Вот она. Вы прочли книгу о слабостях человеческой психики в секретном кабинете лорда Мортимера. Манипулирование плюс одиночку. Ну, что, круто. Только где это? А, это вот здесь. Все, понял.
Says, it is possible to drill an idea into someone by constant daily repetition until the mind gives in.
Подарок доставлен. Тимур Шах Дурани, правитель Афганистана, Пенджаба, Синда, Мешха и Кашмира, скоро оставит престол. Как мы и хотели, власть перейдет к его сыну Заману. После этого мы возобновим переговоры. Кей. Агент Джей и агент Кей.
Some of those forces are pushing toward the west. On it, Mortimer's placed little feather symbols at different points, toward which the Spanish are headed. Could he be fueling Indian resistance to slow down Spain?
Жестко.
This shows the forces present in America.
А, это она и есть, ё-моё. Дорогой друг, премного благодарен вам за помощь в борьбе с испанцами и возвращении Арана. Корабль, идущий во французский Марсель, зафрахтован. На его борту находится несколько тех погибших от чумы, которые свирепствуют в нашей стране. Будьте предельно осторожны с этими ящиками. Если их случайно откроют, чума может быстро охватить всю Францию. Мохаммед Эль-Кебир. Неплохо, неплохо они там устроились. Так, подождите-ка. А вот это он что? А, золотой эликсир. Пока не нужен. Посмотрим, осмелитесь ли вы встретиться со мной тет-а-тет. Вау. Вау.
What is she up to? Obviously, she
Крути.
wants to lure Mortimer somewhere, but where? The only clue she's left for Mortimer is this stone sword. It must be intentional. It looks like a decorative sword, like from a statue, for example. And judging by the state of it, I'm guessing it's been left outside for a long time. I have absolutely got to find out where it came from.
Угу, отлично. То когда я еще почитаю? Дорогой лорд Мортимер, вы помогли Китаю, сообщив важные сведения, и вас ждет вознаграждение. Что бы Великобритания не замыслила против нас, не переживайте. Ее представитель, мистер Маккартни, во время своего визита ничего от нас не добьется. Ваш друг Цань Лун, император династии Цинь. Уильям, не знаю, чего ты добиваешься, но отец выражает недовольство своим влиянием на Европу. Россия собирается примкнуть к коалиции против твоей любимой Франции. Ты не сможешь долго сопротивляться. Прошу тебя, Уильям, не упрямься. Ты вносишь разлад в нашу семью. С любовью, твой брат. Я почту твое собрание, но не считаешь ли ты, что сейчас не время его проводить? Г. Кто же брат его Г?
It shows the forces present in Europe. It's clear that France is surrounded by her enemies. However, a large number has been underlined in bold. 26 million. I know what it is. It's an estimation of my country's population. All our neighbors have far fewer inhabitants.
Так, изучаем
It's being
геополитику.
prepared in France in favor of Italy. Could Mortimer have decided to finance a war?
Так. Дорогой друг, благодарю вас за письмо и разделяю ваши опасения. Сожалею, что придется объявить войну. Но иногда выхода из сложившейся ситуации я не вижу. Памятуя о ваших словах, я с тяжелым сердцем отправляюсь на встречу с коалицией, которая выступает против нас. Надеюсь на сотрудничество в будущем. Георг, король Ганновера и Соединенного Королевства Великобритании и Ирландии. Так, а вот, кстати, да, мы пропустили. Дорогой друг, как вы и просили, я собрал друзей, чтобы подписать предложенный вами договор. Отныне будем называть его Баттонвудским соглашением. Если вы вспомните место, где впервые встретились с нами, то поймете, почему мы так его назвали. Прилагаю к письму список своих коллег. Бликер, Хью Смит, Армстронг и Борнволл, Сэмюэл Марч, Эндрю Барклей, Бенджамин Сейшет, Джон Генри, Джон Буш, Дэвид Риди. Благодаря вам мы вскоре сможем собрать в моей кофейне. С нетерпением жду встречи. Хью Смит. Угу. Понятно. Что ничего не понятно.
Preservation using formaldehyde. Just as disgusting as ever.
Формалин. Омерзительно. Согласен. Опачки. О строении человеческого тела. Наука опять.
Something strange about this table. What kind of experiments does Mortimer carry out here? It's a dissection table. So Mortimer does autopsies here on his desert island. But who is he doing autopsies on then? The little surgeon's perfect collection.
Так. Еще... Да, я не очень не сомневался, что у него неустойчивости. Он вообще мега крут. Властитель Дум. Че властитель Дум? Оккультизм плюс 1 очко. А чё нет? Мне нравится. Так, давайте сначала пройдемся, посмотрим эти бочонки. Вот бочонок. Ну, к сожалению, это не мед, но тоже пригодится. Так, это что? Ключ. Ключ тоже можно взять. Так, вот он, бочонок с медом. А то я сейчас опять подберу что-нибудь. Дорогой друг, дела у вас идут просто великолепно. Мы приняли монетный акт и собираемся по вашему указанию основать первый американский банк, который, вероятно, получит название Union Bank. Строительство Белого дома начнем в октябре. Я прослежу, чтобы все было сделано в срок. Надеюсь на скорую встречу. Томас Джефферсон. Что-то во рту, блин, пересыхает, то ли из-за отопления.
A chest with a motif representing the alchemical symbol of fire.
Мы получили ключ с оккультным символом. А у меня такой есть. Еще и коллекционные монеты. Сколько? 30. Лорд Мортимер, прошу вас не сомневаться в моей верности. План сработал. Крестьяне Ван Дей готовят мятеж. Мои люди стараются усилить давление на народ. Учредительное собрание накалило обстановку, приняв закон о гражданском устройстве духовенства. Люди массово отвергают священников и клянутся в верности государству. Ух ты. Если национальный конвент и правда спровоцирует народное восстание, вопрос будет решен. Не смею вам указывать на массовый призыв на войну вдали от родины. Существенно усилит революционные настроения. Ваш верный слуга Франсуа Аташре де ла Контри. Так. Я уже понял, что я кучу монет получил. Мне бы вот эти два манускриптика бы собрать. Вообще цены не было.
Am I seeing things, or is that an actual Von Leeuwenhoek microscope? Incredible. Mortimer really is at the cutting edge of science. Even at the Order, it took us ages to get one of those.
Так, про науку мы и так знали. Железная маска.
3 rusty old nails. They're about 20 centimeters long.
Угу.
Some goat skulls, chicken legs. Now we all know what that's for. I'm a little surprised at Mortimer. I didn't seem as the type to be organizing little pagan parties, invoking occult powers, and dancing naked under the full moon. I'm more used to seeing cheap charms like this sold by... Look, a pack of tarot cards. Has he been reading the cards? Mortimer? That would surprise me.
Прочесть расклад.
It is a typical draw on a line that answers a specific question. To the left, temperance, that announces a reward for one who patiently waits before taking any action. And in the middle, the chariot, which symbolizes triumph and business success. To the right, the Emperor evokes a future full of power and stability.
Ага. То есть у него там типа расклад выпал, что все хорошо. Лорд Мортимер, тигр умирает. По вашей просьбе мы напали на Траванкор и перерезали глотки всем англичанам. Всем англичанам, которые могли, но без помощи французов. Мои солдаты долго не продержатся. Вы прислали нам новые снаряды, но наши силы уже на исходе. Прошу, помогите. Правитель Майс-Урия. Майс-Урия.
That must be for writing the homing pigeon messages. That must be for writing an iron mask. I wonder who it's for.
Железная маска, интересно, чья? Дорогой друг, кто возвышается над всеми олимпийцами? Разумеется, никто иной, как владыка богов. В отличие от своего отца Кроноса, он был не только силен, но и мудр. Вместо того, чтобы бояться своих детей и братьев, он отправил миром вместе с ними. Смертные боятся его молний. Он справедлив и могуч, но не деспотичен. И что это значит? Так. Лорд Мортимер, как вы и просили, и изменил ваш старый замок. Вдохновившись речью вашего друга доктора Гильотена, я разработал новый замок и надеюсь, что вам понравится прототип. Замок не просто собрать, но он будет расположен прямо посередине двери. Цель – добавить некую изюминку, не изменяя механизма. В зависимости от расположения колес вышеупомянутый замок либо откроется, либо накажет утратившего веру шпиона. Я назвал свое изобретение испытанием веры, поскольку добродетельный человек не стал бы к нему приближаться. Надеюсь, вы оцените иронию. Гюстав Монтран, архитектор. Так, нам придется встретиться с каким-то замком.
A skeleton by the name of Gustav, if the plaque on the plinth is anything to go by. Mortimer's given a name to his anatomy skeleton. That's morbid. Oh, his right hand is missing. These are feathers. Pigeon, probably.
Угу. Языкознания нету.
Looks like obsidian or onyx. It must weigh a ton.
А так бы нам бы это сейчас помогло. Но, как говорится, увы. Так, ну слушайте. Мы вот что не прочитали.
A table of alchemical elements. So, Lord Mortimer also studies alchemy? It seems like he's interested in everything.
Походу его интересует реально все. Так, единственное, на что я не посмотрел, это... Сейчас я еще вот так взгляну, чтобы ничего не болталось. Это вот... Сосредоточенный. Что за сосредоточенная бдительность? Вы внимательно осмотрели кабинет. О, у меня две черты, все можно открыть еще. Лучше бы, блин, языкознанием бы сейчас как-нибудь. Ну и что, вы хотите сказать, здесь выходить опять?
Oh shit. How am I gonna get out of here now?
Ну, есть предположение, но не факт. Так, там было что у нас? 1191. Ага. Ну нет, конечно.
This looks like the same mechanism as the one on the other side. These cylinders rotate on the same central axis, so when I enter a number on one side, it corresponds to another one on
Да я
the other
понял уже,
side.
что надо сделать.
Looks like the same as the one on the other side.
Так, 1. Здесь 1. А, только... Так, их по 3, да? То есть нам девятка надо, чтобы была наверху, чтобы был 1, да? Да, вот так. То есть 8, 9, 0, 1, да. Так. То есть восьмерки нужны здесь. 8. Здесь тоже 8. Угу. Так, а вот здесь нам надо, чтобы была девятка там. То есть мы вот сейчас... А, так сейчас она там. Нет. 0, 9. Восьмерку сейчас там. Вот так девятка там.
This looks like the same mechanism as the one on the other side.
Ну, чисто в теории.
Whoa, whoa. The
Опачки.
grid closes a bit more every time I enter a wrong date. I'd better not mess up again. It doesn't seem to be working.
Так, 1191 же там было, правильно? Нет, неправильно я, блядь, думаю. Всего 9, так, 10 символов. Здесь 3, соответственно, там 3. Это 6, где-то еще 4. Я не могу понять, как они вращаются сюда. Так. Листик мне нужен. Так, так, блин. 10 граней нам надо нарисовать. Так, 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 так и так. Так, раз. Так, допустим, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Да, 0, 5 должно быть. 6, 7, 8, 9. Так. Только... так, 1 получается напротив 6. Да. 1 напротив 6. Вот она, 6. Шесть. Ну, чисто логически 0 напротив 5 же будет, правильно? Да. 1 напротив 6. А 9 напротив 4. Да. Вот так. Ну, рискнем. Потом, значит, подсказки будем есть, если я неправильно. Слава тебе, Богу. Моих мозгов хватило. Птичку жалко шлепнуть. Ну да, лучше об этом не задумываться. Открыта новая черта ловки, хитрость плюс 1. Так, нам надо валить. Я познакомился с Волдом. Лучше бы не знакомился. Я мог бы встретить Перу при странных обстоятельствах. Вот не встретил. Очень жаль. Так, продолжаем. Так, невзирая ни на что, нам однозначно нужна вот эта. Дальше. Предметы какие я буду изучать? Уклонение, хитрость, политика, наука, убеждение, манипулирование, оккультизм, наука опять. Допрос я, наверное, буду. 2 раза допрос изучим. Так, 2 раза допрос. И политику можно. Так, 2 раза допрос, допустим. Где тут допрос? 2 раза допрос. Психологии. Вот нету там психологии. Нет, у нас есть политика, хитрость и уклонение. Политика, хитрость и уклонение. Так. Это ловкость, логика, бдительность, запрос. Так, политика. Хитрость и уклонение. Хитрость это у нас где-то здесь, да? Да. Так, ну в принципе вот в уклонение тогда можно. Бдительность я тоже там не видел. Так, ну давайте тогда в уклонение. Остальные 2 очка. И пойдет. Так. Допрос. Допрос. Забыл, что я сделал. Уклонение.
This note is about a meeting with Lord Mortimer. There's no doubt about it. All right, I need to find out where the sword that came with it's from in order to find Mother.
Так, я так вижу, нам чуть-чуть очков восстановили.
Joking, I hope. Don't tell me you've done that.
Really? How do you expect me to guess?
Oh, for God's sake, just ask them.
Подслушать
We
разговор.
must absolutely inform Sir Gregory. How long?
Пронырливый. Хитрость +1. Блин, вот не могли уклонение дать +1. Но у нас теперь зато допрос уже 2-го уровня. И это уже почти 2-го. И это тоже уже можно будет бдительность бахать. Поэтому мы идем нормально.
I must have brought him the first one 20-odd years ago.
Do you know if he has managed to get the original?
Well, in any case, he's got all the ones we had at the Vatican. He made me replace them with copies. But I don't understand your reaction. I'm sure it is nothing serious.
Aha. I can see very well you do not understand. You have done nothing less than sign our death warrants, and still you don't understand.
Someone is listening.
What? Monsieur de Richet, why not join us rather than find yourself eavesdropping?
I didn't want to interrupt you. I'm sorry.
Of course you didn't. So, my son, what can we do for you?
I was wondering if you might have seen an object like this, here, at the manor.
What are you playing at, de Richet?
I'm afraid I can't help you, my son. Ask someone who knows the manor better than I do. One of the servants, for example. One of them is bound to help you.
Thank you for your advice, Your Eminence.
Ну, вклиниваться не надо в их разговор, наверное. Расскажу. Я думал, что рассказать надо прям
What are you
рассказать.
playing at, Riche?
I'm afraid I can't help you, my son. Ask someone who knows the matter better than I do. One of the servants, for example. One of them is bound to help you.
Thank you for your advice, Your Eminence.
Да, не
Nothing
будем
in particular.
вклиниваться.
I'll leave you alone.
Do you think he heard us?
Don't worry.
Так, сделаем небольшой перерывчик. Что-то у меня в горле вообще конкретно пересохло. Ну, в 2 минуты я подойду. Простите. Продолжаем. Так, слуг надо спросить. Так, где же у нас слуги? Так, якорцы. О, вот он, слуга как раз таки.
I am sorry, sir, but the conference room is under preparation and is consequently inaccessible to guests.
Спросите о
Could you
мече.
perhaps help me?
What can I do for you, sir?
Where did this sword come from?
From the garden, sir. That sword belongs to one of the statues in the garden.
Thank you very much.
Don't mention it, sir.
Так, соответственно, мне нужно выйти на улицу. Да.
The sword probably came from this garden, but what could it have been used for? Golden elixir.
Круто. Одно очко потратил, чтобы посмотреть, блядь,
I couldn't have
на
hoped for
эликсир.
better.
Опачки.
Well, Monsieur de Richet, what brings you here?
I tell you what I'm looking for, Monsieur Peru. Will you promise to keep it to yourself?
Hell no. And anybody who gives you a promise like that is an unmitigated liar. Trust no one, Monsieur de Richet, or you'll soon be a dead man. I
Yeah.
bid you good luck. You'll need it.
Капец. Что-то я затупил. Забыл, что у него к допросам-то сопротивляемость.
Ariadne. In Greek mythology, she helped Theseus get through the labyrinth. Looks like there's a crack in the region of the heart. I guide this sword that will kill the monster.
О!
If I recall the Iliad, Ariadne is none other than the daughter of Minos and Pasiphae. She was in love with Theseus and helped him in his quest to kill the Minotaur in return for a promise of marriage, if he defeated the monster. She gave him a reel of thread so that he could find his way back through the labyrinth, which was famous for being unsolvable. But once the beast was slain, the gallant was quick to abandon her on an island. Turns out heroes are not what they once were. Let's see. A crack as long as my finger. What's going to happen if I've got it wrong?
Так. Веревку мы увидели. Но я хочу изучить данное место. Так как здесь может быть много всего интересного. Памятка Академии наук и литературы. Языкознание. О, то, что нам нужно было, только не сейчас. Нафиг нам эта статуя не нужна. Опа. Угу. Так. Золотой эликсир. Вот отсюда может быть меч, кстати. О. Вот это мне не надо было. А меч может быть хоть откуда. Откровенно говоря. А может, у него вообще в руках он был.
A byzant
Монета.
from the Byzantine Empire. A coin often used during the St. Louis era.
Вон туда мне надо пройти, в центр еще. Достать, кстати, надо у нее этот.
Golden elixir. Ariadne. I'll try something else.
Так, где-то там. Капец. Ты пройдешь. Хм. А, вон он проход.
I wonder what this kiosk is doing in the middle of the garden. Too cramped to be able to do much. Well, there must be something going on there. What is that?
Что это?
It's like a sort of opening mechanism.
Дырочка какая-то.
Knowing Mortimer, I bet it's booby-trapped. There's a little hole at the fingers. I'm pretty sure if I get it wrong, I'll get pricked. Damn you, Mortimer. Reminds me of traps I studied in Egyptian tombs.
Так, ключ с оккультным символом Земля. Так, то бишь здесь нам делать нефиг. Так, вот она, нитка.
Theseus, son of a genius.
Тесей.
He's the one who slayed the Minotaur. I seem to recall he took the decision to confront the Minotaur. He killed the beast, but if it weren't for Ariadne's help, he would have been trapped in that labyrinth forever. In short, yet another hero who wasn't the sharpest knife in the drawer. Okay, I'm probably being a bit harsh. I mean, we do owe him the foundations of Athens. In other words, the Republic. Render therefore unto Caesar what is Caesar's.
Давайте переведем.
I am the blind hero. I wasn't expecting an inscription like that.
Я слепой герой не на своем месте.
I wonder if Mother managed to solve this enigma.
Короче, придется походу все смотреть статуи.
Asterion. It is rare to see him like this. In general, he's represented with the head of a bull, with the features of the Minotaur.
The famous son of Minos and Pasiphae.
Да о чем мне этот миф
the
даст?
son of Pasiphae and Minos, or rather the result of a curse put on Minos.
Minos was punished for betraying Poseidon. Of course, as strangely it often happens, it wasn't he who was punished, it was his wife. She had to mate with a bull, no less. From that union, Asterion was born, who everyone knows as the famous Minotaur. Rejected by Minos, he was shut up in the labyrinth so he could never leave. And, as if that wasn't bad enough, he died by the hand of a hero desperate to restore his reputation.
Три слишком много.
Technically,
Asterion is the victim of the story because he's described as a child cast out from birth. Born from an extramarital union because of the errors of his father, he was treated as an outcast all his life. And he died as innocently as he was born. A tragic story, as the Greeks knew how to do so well.
Да, точно.
I
Так,
am the
ладно.
cursed child. Let's go.
Понятно, я проклятое дитя. Хрен с ним. Походу, все статуи придется считать.
Minos, son of
Это
Zeus
сам
and
Минос.
Gruppa. If I remember correctly, he was the king of Crete. Married to Pasiphae, he had many children, including the famous Ariadne, whom history remembers for her thread. Hey, there's a crack in that statue. His gesture sealed his fate.
Одно деяние решило его судьбу. Так, этот сказал, что он не на своем месте. Надо узнать того еще. Кто ты?
Daedalus.
Дедал.
He's the architect of the labyrinth. And if I'm not mistaken, he's also the father of Icarus. I am the architect of my own demise.
И я... Так. И все же... Кого нам надо жахнуть?
Pasiphae, daughter of Perseus and sister of Circe. She married Minos and became the queen of Crete. She has no cracks.
Трещины нет.
Deliverance alone suffices not to wash away my humiliation.
Чё еще раз?
Deliverance alone
Избавление не
suffices not to wash
смоет
away
мой
my
позор.
humiliation.
Избавление не смоет
Let's
мой
continue
позор.
anyways.
Так, сейчас мы должны пройти к Икару, я понимаю. Так, Икара вообще клубок не ведет.
Icarus. The son of Daedalus and Nocrate. Impossible to mistake him with those wings. After flying too close to the sun, they came unstuck and he fell to his death. Pity. I am the innocent one, sacrificed for the sins of the father. Well, let's keep going.
У него тоже нету дырки. Блин, почему я думаю, что минусу надо впендюривать? Потому что у него два меча уже есть.
This statue has a crack in it. Right. We'll soon see.
Так, слушайте, ну а звука-то никакого не было.
Asterion. Theseus. Looks like a crack has been made on his torso.
Тоже звука никакого не было. Ну, блин, нет.
Theseus. Let's try something else instead.
Почему-то мне кажется, все-таки ему.
This statue has a crack in it. Right. We'll soon see.
Нет.
What's wrong?
Прометчивые.
Either I'm imagining things or my hand was pricked. It had poison on it. My head. I feel hot.
Как я могу сделать 3 ошибки?
Mysterion.
Че, дедалу, что ли, изначально надо? Или минусу? Давай минусу.
The crack is in the region of the heart.
Ну чё за ботва? Да ладно. Жесть, конечно.
Again?
Я так и не понял, почему минус.
You can't be serious, Manuel. You know that's not going to happen.
You must leave me alone now. I have agreed to everything. Even to...
Agreed? I wasn't aware you had a choice.
What's going on here?
What now? What else must I do to win back my freedom?
Obey me. Now get out.
What was that? That's the 3rd time in 3 days.
Ну пошли дальше в подвал. Там же кровь была. Интересно, что это.
Let's see if you're in there, Mother. Amber.
Девш.
Bandages? Someone's been patching themselves up. Looks like my mother took advantage of being in hiding to change her bandages, huh?
А в чертах осталась эта фигня? Да. Логика. Бля, это вообще очень плохо.
These bandages are pretty basic. She'll be lucky if she doesn't get an infection.
Опачки.
Bandages? Someone's been patching themselves up. Looks like my mother took advantage of being in hiding to change her bandages, huh? This is silk. She must have used her own clothes.
Так, все нормально. Вот эту фигню, значит, бахнем.
There are patches where the blood isn't totally clotted. That's a good sign, right? She changed them recently, which proves she's still looking after herself and still believes in her chances. Well, I'd love to tell her to keep hanging in there.
Все, понял. Ух ты. Это один из этих дворецких.
Damn it, Mother. Now what's happened?
Ну и чё, кто за спиной-то?
Don't move!
Wait, I'm not armed.
Who are you?
Good God, Mother, what have you...
Tell me who you are!
Серьезно, что ли? Короче, развилки ничем не помогли. Я еще и уровень не бахнул. Херово. Так. По 3 сейчас в каждой, да, осталось? Интересно, почему здесь можно начать? Ну типа перепрыгнуть через это. Ну нет, не вижу смысла. Давайте собрание.
The only thing I can tell you is that Sarah had indeed changed. In your opinion, why would your mother remain in hiding over several weeks?
You must leave me alone now. I have agreed to everything. Even to...
But you do realize your mother will have to accept the consequences of her acts.
I hope that your search will prove successful and bring Sarah back to us soon.
I'll be leaving now because whatever it is you're up to, I do not want to know.
Since then, we have become one and the same. We have officially erased the identity of my sister Emma. Emily Hillsborough. The woman with 2 faces.
Everyone seems to be a little unnecessarily heated. Don't forget where you are, please.
Так, мне сразу манускрипты, да? 3 штуки надо изучить. Хитрость, политика. 2 науки есть у меня. Оккультизм, убеждение. Политику, убеждение изучу. Хитрость. Да, пожалуй, вот эти 3 я изучу манускрипт.
Don't move.
Wait, I don't...
So you've come at last.
Easy. Let me turn around.
Что, сына не узнал, блядь, что ли?
Oh my God, Mother, what has happened to you?
Who are you?
What? But, Mother!
Who are you?
It's me, Louis, your son.
No, you lie. You won't catch me out like that. Louis isn't here. He obeys his mother. He would never have come here.
Mother, I don't know what you've been through, but lower your arm, please.
You think I was born yesterday, do you? But it won't work.
I'm begging you.
One day you will fall.
Mother!
Why are you here?
Что вы здесь делаете? Но у нее на все сопротивление есть. Да пофигу.
Al-Azif?
I was sure.
Where's the book, Mother?
So that's what you want. Well, you will never find it. Emily died for that.
What's got into her?
You are evil incarnate. Every word that comes out of your mouth is sharper than a razor blade.
I don't wish you any harm. Really, Mother. It's me, Louis.
Don't speak to me about him. You will never get him.
Mother, stop torturing yourself. It really is me, Louis. How can I convince you?
If you really are who you say you are, what was the saying I taught you?
You've been telling it to me since I was 3 years old, Mother. How could I ever forget it? Always keep your mind rational. And open.
You knew it. You are smart.
Искуситель. Манипулирование плюс 1 очко. Нормально. Правда, тут очков надо.
You're getting me muddled up. Tell me, rather, whose place were we at when I told you I was coming here?
Mother, I really am your son. You can't trick me. We were in Paris. We were investigating an art dealer.
His name?
Ох ты. А я прям помню. Ботхер, по-моему.
I just told you, you can't trick me. His name was von Borchert.
My God,
Ooh.
everything is lost then. I refuse to believe it's really you, Louis. Otherwise, all this would be for nothing.
Mother, I don't know what happened to you, but don't worry. Everything is going to be fine. I'm here for you and...
No! I ordered you not to come with me.
I received a letter and Lord Mortimer informed me of your disappearance. So I took the...
No! 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 It's not true. It's a nightmare. Don't tell me that. Have you spoken to him?
Oh, shit. She's completely panicked because I spoke to Mortimer. It seems she's afraid of what he might have said to me about her.
Did he speak to you?
Да.
Mother, I don't know what you're imagining, but don't worry. Everything will be all right. If you're worried about what I might think about Elizabeth Adams, honestly...
Oh, Louis! Elizabeth is the last of my worries right now. I did what I could for her, but it was too late. Very well. Rational and open, Louis. Since you arrived on the island, has anything strange happened to you?
Depends on what you mean by strange.
А.
Do you want to tell me about your relationship with Elizabeth Adams?
Louis, I don't know what you found out, but just know that I did everything I could to help her.
Я верю.
I'm sure you did, Mother. I'm not judging you.
You know, what she had to put up with was slowly gnawing away at her. Now shut up and listen to me. We might still have a chance. Something...
Чуткий. Чуткий. Что за черта? Оккультизм плюс 1 очко. Ну, мы, смотрите, мы растем. У нас оккультизм вообще уже зашкаливает практически.
Utmost importance is going to play out right here.
What are you talking about?
A conference, Louis. I should think all Mortimer's guests have arrived by now, haven't they?
Yes, they have. Since this morning.
Perfect. The conference will be able to begin.
Indeed. It shouldn't be long and...
Let me finish. We haven't time. You will attend this conference, and you must find out what Mortimer is up to. Don't trust him, Louis. Understood?
Да, я понял.
Louis, I made a mistake by coming here. We are in the lion's den.
What do you mean?
Mortimer, Holm, their guests. Watch what happens. Do you think it's normal that the representatives of the most powerful nations are here all on their own without anyone else? On an island in the middle of nowhere in total secrecy?
No, not really, but...
Louis! They shape the world. They manipulate us. Everything is decided here and now. They create and break states, provoke wars, destitute governments, or decide who will be their leaders. Open your eyes!
Mother, calm yourself, please.
Nothing is impossible for them. They are capable of reaching everyone, wherever they may be. Through high society banquets, they model the future of us all, and it isn't at all an issue for them.
And? What do you propose?
It's time to act, my son. You will go to this conference, and from the inside, you'll do everything you can to prevent Mortimer's plan from going ahead smoothly. We can talk later. I'll explain everything.
But why?
Do as I say, Louis. It's of the utmost importance. Beware of Mortimer. He won't let anything stand in his way.
You promised me that after...
Yes, after. Go now.
Yes, Mother, I'm going.
Да уж.
One more thing, Mother. Emily Hillsborough, Emma's sister, came to this island looking for her sister. She probably won't hesitate to take revenge and...
It's the signal that the conference is starting, Louis. Don't be concerned about the Duchess. She's the last of our worries.
Сейчас о ней нечего думать. Посетить собрание. Давайте посетим собрание. Я же правильно понимаю, где вышел, там и надо зайти? Ну, по ходу дела, да. Ну ничего себе.
Respect to any other leading character is not one.
Totally wrong, I assure you.
I have suspected it.
That does seem as if...
Так, мне нужен мед.
A fragment of amber. A chest with a motif representing the alchemical symbol.
Да есть у меня ключ.
I have already told her so once, by your desire.
Are you quite sure, sir? Is there not a little mistake somewhere?
Yes, because she asked him at last, and he could not help answering her, but she said he seemed quite angry
Так.
and spoken to.
But it is not sound. You know it is not sound.
Your conjecture is totally wrong, I assure you.
Медок надо выпить сразу парочку, потому что тут будут, я так полагаю, что дебаты. Сань.
But with respect to any other leading character, I do not imagine that much is being done.
Так, все, по кругу, да, поперли?
I don't know if you ever found what you were looking for in the garden, but Mortimer is waiting for you. I suggest you get a move on.
You say it as if you were afraid of him.
Психология. Слабость.
I sense that you have things you'd like to say, but something's holding you back. What is going on between you two?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I believed in him. I followed him to the best of my ability. I championed his ideas, defended his decisions, and then, without even realizing it, I became lost. The siren's song, Monsieur de Richet. You wake up one morning, not knowing where you are, and you think about everything you've done for a man who wasn't even worth it.
Опачки.
For a man who has no respect for you, who uses you, and who drops you. as soon as he no longer needs you. For me, it's too late now. But you still have a choice. Don't respond to his call, sir.
Так, понял. Это очень полезная информация. Так. Потрахтим с этими.
Good evening, gentlemen. Are we ready? The much-awaited conference is about to begin?
That is what we have all been waiting for.
I believe that Lord Mortimer wishes to speak to you before it begins. You should go and see him. Are you quite sure?
Ясно, не хотят со мной разговаривать. Блин, их всего 3 осталось. Я не знаю, что это значит наверху.
My son, glad you're here. It seems Lord Mortimer's been waiting for you to arrive before beginning. What a pity your mother isn't here for the conference. I hope I'll be able to see her before I leave. I still have a very important letter to give to her.
Feeling all right, Louis? You look like you're miles away.
Everything's fine. Don't worry.
Lord Mortimer wants to talk to you, Louis. Don't make him wait.
Не заставляйте его ждать. Да ну, конечно, ёпарасоте не будем заставлять. Давай, погнали.
Louis, I've been expecting you. Thank you for joining us. We are about to begin our conference. Let me explain what is at stake.
Thank you kindly. But what do you expect of me exactly? My mother's the one who's supposed to attend, not me.
That is indeed what was initially intended. Unfortunately, she still hasn't been found, and my guests can't stay here indefinitely. The conference must begin, and it would be truly beneficial to the Order to join in the project. Consequently, I would like you to replace her during her absence. What is at stake here is of the utmost importance.
It's important that the French Order gets their say. And should you need any advice, don't worry, you are not alone, Louis.
Very well.
Чему посвящено собранием?
Explanation of the aim of it all?
Of course, Louis, I was coming to that. The aim of these meetings is to bring together the most influential people in order to think together about the future.
But the future of who?
Of the world, Louis.
Our desire is to steer the destiny of our respective countries for the good of all, and to no longer suffer the random hazards of history.
Да уж.
In concrete terms, how do you organize your discussions?
A conference is always organized the same way. There are 2 masters of ceremony who determine an important subject.
You and Sir Gregory, I presume.
Exactly. We shall be the masters of ceremony. It was our obligation to each bring to the table several guests in order to debate a subject. Once the debate is closed, a decision will be made by a vote of all the participants.
By a unanimous vote. If the project is not agreed on by all, then it will be rejected.
And neither of the 2 masters of ceremony have the right to vote.
It's up to the guests alone to decide, Louis. In other words, us.
Gregory and myself are merely the go-betweens. Finally, if the project is validated, each guest goes home and starts working to make it happen.
It can take years.
Так, понятно. Ну, типа, все по-честному.
How long have you been active?
Oh, this tradition has more or less always existed, Louis. It has continued from generation to generation.
Do you often hold this kind of society dinner?
In general, once a year, but in actual fact it tends to be events that dictate our gatherings.
Can you give me an example of an event that was decided here before being implemented in the outside world?
Well, take the French Revolution. It was decided right here 2 years before its implementation in France.
Concerning the case of the French Revolution, I wasn't invited. But as far as the American Revolution is concerned, Louis, I can testify that we planned it 5 years before implementing it, for example.
Понятно. У меня больше нет вопросов.
Let me keep you a moment. I would like to let you in on a secret before we begin, because I'm going to need your assistance. You see, the project I'm going to present concerns the territory of Louisiana in North America. It's currently Spanish territory, and I'm going to make the proposition to the Assembly for it to become French. My idea is to increase the territory of the United States. The first stone of this vast project consists of getting Spain to cede Louisiana to France. Once it becomes French, France will hand it over to the United States, which will then allow them to double the size of their territory. And that's where you come in. France and the United States, hand in hand, two democracies illuminating the world.
Так, политика и допрос. Ну тут только вот так-то сделать. Хрен.
But why spread it over 2 phases? Why not announce the overall project immediately?
Unfortunately, if Spain were to hear that the intention of all this is to allow the United States to grow, they would never sign. Manuel Godoy is perfectly aware of President Washington's appetite. If the United States took Louisiana, Godoy would know full well that he will have lost the entire North American continent. Things must take place in several stages. Otherwise, the change will be too brutal, and he will have no choice but to reject the project. Take a look at them. Apart from President Washington, they all belong to monarchies. Do you really think they won't resist? Of course they'll fight, fearful as they are of losing their precious privileges. But the world needs visionaries, like you, like your mother. It's a pity Sarah isn't here to see it. She only knew about a tiny part of the project. I hope I can count on you, Louis.
Блин,
It's
он
time to start
убедителен.
now. I must ask you to keep it to yourself for the time being. Take a seat, follow the discussions. We'll have an opportunity to catch up later, and you'll be able to let me know your thoughts.
Blast it, Mother. You didn't know about everything. His project is commendable. Why tell me to beware? Could you have gotten it wrong?
I can tell you that someone is an idiot.
Я говорю, он вообще убедителен, как
My
не знаю.
friends, I propose we get started. First of all, I would like to thank you for taking the time to come.
The honor is ours, my lord.
As per our custom, here we are all together to discuss the face of tomorrow's world. Even though there may be certain tensions between our nations, I must ask you to keep an open mind. As Sarah de Richet is unable to be among us, please welcome Louis de Richet, who will represent the Golden Order and will vote on its behalf when the time comes.
Welcome among us, Louis.
Welcome, Monsieur.
I hope he'll be more effective than his mother regarding the protection of the King of France. The Order has proved particularly inefficient.
Come, Manuel, you're not going to spoil our visit. The Order's mission was not to protect King Louis XVI, as far as I am aware.
We are talking about a king of divine blood, for goodness sake. It seemed obvious to me he needed protecting. If the Golden Order wants to pride itself on being an influential organization, it should have kept him alive.
Вот пацана понесло.
I'm sorry about the fate of the King of France, Duke Manuel. However, I'm surprised at your remark. How can a man like me have changed the course of things where a man like you, powerful, capable of influencing international politics, was unable to do any better?
Perhaps we may begin, Lord Mortimer.
Certainly. I have a dream that our nations will continue to support each other, more now than ever before. A dream that, for the sake of common good, we will do what it takes to ensure stability in the modern world. I have a dream that we shall lead by example and ensure that the American territory may remain in peace.
Thank you for the thought, Lord Mortimer. But I don't see where you're leading.
I'm coming to it, Mr. President. I need not remind you that North America is currently divided between the United States on the east coast and Spain, which occupies the remaining 2/3 of the continent. Well, I propose that Spain cede the center of the continent to France, namely all of Louisiana.
Louisiana? But, well, it is not for sale. Lord Mortimer, I sincerely hope I have not come all this way just to hear you ramble on about what Spain should and should not do. When we went to all the trouble of gaining the territory a few years ago, it was not just to lose it today. Have I made myself clear?
What did I tell you, William? You speak of union, and yet here you are, about to tear us apart.
Duke Manuel, I perfectly understand you. But rest assured, you will soon adore my proposition. You shall see.
Well, since you give me the choice, my good fellow, allow me to doubt it. However, I am impatient to hear what Spain could possibly gain from the sale of Louisiana.
I never spoke of a sale, my good fellow.
What? I do not understand.
There is one more territory left to conquer, if I'm not mistaken, in the northwest. It is, of course, occupied by your notorious Indians, but...
We shall soon be rid of the savages, so that is not the question.
Промолчать здесь надо.
Duke Manuel, I believe that Spain should cede Louisiana to France, free of charge.
This is utterly grotesque, Lord Mortimer. What a strange example you set for your young protégé. Isn't that so, Monsieur de Richet? Do you understand anything of this proposition?
Давайте.
We are neighbors, Duke Manuel. Remember, your main rival in Europe is more likely to be England, who is plowing the seas right at your coastline. Hand over Louisiana to France and make her a prime ally.
Come, Louis. Spain and Great Britain are already allies and have nothing to gain by breaking their alliance.
Even if I do agree, Duchess, the omnipresence of the English fleet in Atlantic waters does not particularly please me.
I must say, William, I find your project mostly disfavors me. I thought you were my friend.
And I am, Mr. President. That is why I'm doing everything in my power to calm your expansionist fervor. France, in Louisiana, should persuade you not to attempt anything to take the territory by force. Louisiana is a vast wetland where you would needlessly lose most of your troops. It would weaken you and offer certain nations the perfect opportunity to take back your famous United States. I am protecting you from yourself, George. Trust me.
I understand. But with friends like you, sir, I certainly don't need any more enemies. I hope you know what you're doing.
Am I imagining things, or does it look like Washington isn't aware of Mortimer's plan?
Not to put too fine a point on it, Lord Mortimer, but I doubt the Holy See would be in favor of Catholic Louisiana being handed over to secular revolutionaries and kings.
Нифига тут
I should
замес
think
у них.
Monsieur de Richet has an opinion on this subject, does he not?
Франция не волнует мнение папы. Франция.
Your Eminence, have no fear over that. I am sure
No.
France will do everything in its power to protect the Christians of Louisiana.
My young friend, how can you come out with such a remark after the discussion we had on the evening of your arrival? If France was so respectful of worship, it would not be
Ну да.
bleeding priests
Нифига
as
себе
it is
туплю.
doing at this very moment in time.
Я провалил.
Don't be naive. This is politics. The Holy See must be concerned at seeing such a large territory falling into the hands of the French. Mi auguro che insegnerete l'educazione a questo giovanotto presuntuoso, Sir Gregory.
Так.
I hope that you will teach this pretentious young man some manners, Sir Gregory. It looks like I won't be just making friends here.
In any case, my lord, I doubt the English crown will agree.
Ich versichere Ihnen, Emily, nie Preußen wird diese Vereinbarung akzeptieren.
Ой, можно перевести?
I assure you, Emily, the Prussian will never accept this agreement. Volner looks like he's set on ruining Mortimer's plan.
Что-то тут все против.
Duchess, I am persuaded that we shall find a common ground.
That's enough, William. These are grave times. We don't care about the fate of Louisiana. That worthless expanse of putrid swamps interests no one but yourself.
Speak for yourself, my friend.
Hold on there, Mr. Royal Gigolo. Lower the volume, and let Sir Gregory finish.
Так, что он там хочет?
Godoy and now Volner? Mortimer's adversaries are ready to tear each other to pieces, and he takes a malicious pleasure in watching it happen.
How dare
Gentlemen, let us try to remain calm.
There you are, William. See where your projects have taken us, as per usual. Chaos! That's enough. I'm tired. We shall continue this discussion tomorrow, but please be aware that your project will never be ratified. Those who are opposed to this project, follow me.
Что-то я вообще ничего не понял. Тут какая-то уловка.
Come, Gregory, I think Louis would rather stay. Wouldn't you, Louis?
Так. Держи, как говорится, врагов ближе к себе.
I think I shall remain with Lord Mortimer, Sir Gregory.
You are committing a grave error, Louis.
Time will tell.
Потому что этот стопудово играет, он его лучший друг и стопудово подыгрывает. А мне надо быть поближе к этому, к Мортимеру, чтобы понимать, о чем идет речь.
My friends, I would like to thank you for staying.
Good God, William. What is this I hear about you reinforcing military power in Louisiana? I have no interest in having France for a neighbor, and you know that very well.
Calm down, George. Louis, explain our plan to Mr. Washington, please.
You see, Mr. President, Lord Mortimer anticipates that once France obtains Louisiana, they will cede it to you.
What do you mean? To us? The United States?
You heard right.
But
President Washington, the United States will double in size.
By what miracle have you...
You need to expand, George. You and France are the two major democracies in the modern world. It is necessary that you both become superpowers.
Are you really going to sponsor democracy throughout the world?
Of course, Monsieur Peru. That's why I don't want Spain to get too attached to those weapons. Please continue, Louis. Explain my vision to Mr. President.
Разумеется. Вот это вот не проканает, сразу вижу.
By going through France, Spain won't suspect that it's you who's going to take possession of Louisiana. They'll even believe that France will be a protective buffer between itself in California and you on the East Coast. If Senor Godoy was afraid that you might take the territory by force, now he is reassured. You would never attack France.
But why didn't you tell me before?
Чтобы быть на шаг впереди, конечно.
So, home doesn't see it coming. But by the time it dawns on Senor Godoy, it'll be too late because he'll realize that he's just lost all the North American continent. We all know that you won't stop once the path is cleared before you.
What do you mean?
You see, Monsieur Peru, it's very likely that once Louisiana becomes American, President Washington will push out even more and take the West Coast.
William, you haven't changed. Always one step ahead.
One step ahead? You're joking. More like 5.
On that note, my friends, it's getting late. Mr. President, continue to take offense over my project when we resume the conference in the morning. You do it to a T. And if Sir Gregory has the audacity to send you an emissary to convince you to go against me, do me a favor. String him along if you can. The more they believe we are divided, the more we'll have our hands free.
Only too happy to oblige.
Now, let us get some rest. We've got a big day tomorrow. Good night, gentlemen.
Good night.
Вот подковерные игры-то.
Louis, if you have a minute, I would like to ask a favor of you. I'm going to require your services.
How can I be of help? Tell me all about it.
Our adversaries are many, and the closing vote of the conference will soon be upon us. Time is of an essence, so I'll need you to assist me this evening.
How can I help?
I need you to go this very evening to persuade Signor Godoy to join us. He is the backbone of Gregory's resistance. Turn him round, and all the others will follow in such a stampede that Gregory will be able to do nothing but admit defeat.
Lord Mortimer, with all due respect, don't you think I'm the last person Godoy wants to talk to?
I'm sure you can do it. I believe in you.
Вот я не уверен. Психология, что у него? Устойчивость по-любому же. Не знаю. Рискнем.
You're not telling me everything.
Let's say I wouldn't disapprove if the Right Honorable, though nonetheless choleric, Duke Manuel put you in his bad books. If it could motivate him to declare war on France, it would greatly serve our interests.
War? What do you mean?
I told you before the conference. The more we distract Spain from the Americas, the less it will have an eye on Louisiana.
But all the same, we're talking about a war in Europe.
Don't worry. That's why Mr. Bonaparte is with us. I am convinced we'll be perfectly capable of managing the conflict. And Signor Godoy is not a great soldier. He will not commit Spain to a long war that he won't be capable of managing.
I'll go straight away.
Thank you, my boy. And get some rest afterwards. Big day tomorrow.
Так. А чё, попугай-то мертвый? Кто убил попугая? Кто убил попугая? Так, а что за синие пятна? А, это отражения, что ли, такие? Ничего себе. Так. Куда нам надо идти теперь? Так, секунду. Так, со стримом вроде все в порядке. Так, тик-тик. О.
Monsieur Johann van Vulner.
А это тогда че? А, это этой комнаты, нет? А, это так, кладовка. Блин, а здесь нет, кстати, баночек. Какие-то тут баночки были. А то я много потратился что-то. Так, так, так. Нет, нету больше. Ой, я к этому могу попасть. Так, это чья комната? А, вот. О, убрались тут. Может, что появилось? Интересно, нет? Срачельник здесь, конечно, еще тот. Ни хера не появилось. Оп. Че это? Я говорю, они появляются. Тут замучаешься их собирать, походу. Так, к Вашингтону можно зайти. Но нам не надо. Меду только не появляется. Да, этому Пьяджи я просто сказал. Ну, что-то меня выбесило.
That's me.
То есть мне теперь открыты вообще все комнаты, по большому счету, да? Так, ну здесь я же все собрал. А, нет, вот.
Amber crystals.
Заберем фигли. Ничего нету, да? Да, у них я, в принципе, во всех комнатах был, кроме какого-то гадоя.
Monseigneur, His Eminence Cardinal Piaggi.
Не в ту сторону пошел.
Duke Manuel Godoy.
Ah, Monsieur de Richet. You wouldn't have seen Duke Manuel by any chance, would you?
I was going to ask you the same question.
I wanted to speak to him, but no one will open the door. I'm not sure he's in there.
If I want to pass through, I'll have to get Volner out of the way.
Манипуляции.
I've
Давайте
searched
вместе
all
его
over the
искать.
manor, but I can't find him.
One thing's for sure, Monsieur de Richet. He's neither in his room nor on this floor. I've just looked all over.
I propose we both look for him. The first to find him tells the Duke that the other is also looking for him. Agreed?
Perfect. Let's do that. I shall have a look in the library. If you find the Duke before me, tell him I want to speak to him.
Yes. Let's proceed as you say.
Thank you, Monsieur de Richet.
А мне надо комнату обследовать.
Right. Now be a good boy and go look somewhere else.
Да. Так, давайте.
Carmelite water. They say that if you drink this, it gives you a real boost. Don Quixote. Talking without thinking. Prometheus. Punished for stealing fire from the gods and giving it to man. Amber crystals.
Так. Сейчас мы у тебя тут быстренько порядок наведем. Опа. А что это?
Brutus and his companions taking an oath to kill Caesar.
Опачки. Бутылочка еще одна. Якорцы. Так, это я читал. Опа, медик. Нормалек. Так, это что? Вы получили ключ с оккультным символом воздух. Чё, хорошо. Коллекционные монеты. Блять, этих монет уже. Сколько вот у меня этих монет? 36 уже. Так.
Mary Louise of Parma. How ironic having a painting of the Queen of Spain in one's room, my Lord Duke. It looks like someone's hidden something on the back of this painting. It's a letter. Of course, it's written in Spanish. And it reeks of lavender. Well, Mr. Godoy. You seem very interested in hiding this letter. Another secret romance, I presume?
Перевести не могу, к сожалению, просто так. Но я обязательно переведу.
Let's see what it says.
Сокровище мое, прости, что снова пришлось уехать. Пускай ради благополучия моей страны. У меня разрывается сердце от того, что мы расстаемся в ссоре, потому что ты — любовь всей моей жизни, Жозефа. Ты же знаешь всем, что у меня есть и что я могу бросить к твоим ногам, я обязан королеве. Останься со мной, прошу тебя, ради нашей любви, ради наших будущих детей. Не ревнуй, молю, все мои мысли только у тебя, все остальное больше, чем фарс.
If the Queen found out, it would cost him dearly. I'll keep it with me. You never know.
Герцог, нашим разведчикам удалось кое-что выяснить. Мистер Хей действительно намеревается заключить соглашение с Великобританией. Похоже, они хотят подорвать экономику Франции и Испании, перекрыв морские торговые пути. Наша казна и так терпит убытки из-за запрета на ввоз продуктов из Франции. Теперь пострадает и наша колония. Уверенно вам даст решить этот вопрос мирным путем. Ожидая дальнейших указаний. Ну вот, у нас в принципе есть два рычага давления. Главное не спалиться. Два рычага давления на мистера Гадоя. Это Великобритания, которая это. И, конечно же, то, что мы его сольем. Ух ты, ё-моё. А что тут все разбросано-то? А что такое тут?
Peru's name tag's fallen off, and his door's ajar.
Что с Перу случилось, мать его? Так, а почему, во-первых... вон он, вторая часть. Так, шкатулочка тут есть. Надо подобрать. Ага. Блин, тут якорцы опять. Я же говорю, монеты появляются заново. Иначе я не мог просто ее пропустить. Моя милая Элеонора, я немного успокоился, хочу поделиться с тобой своими мыслями. Сложно выразить, как я скучаю по тебе и как сильно жалею, что уехала. Я знаю, ты будешь доброй и храброй, пока тебя оберегает сестра Мария Элен. Мне никогда уже не исправить своих ошибок. Но я во что бы то ни стало уберегу тебя от их последствий. Я всегда буду любить тебя, не сомневайся в этом, что бы ни случилось. Знай, все обязательно будет хорошо. Я буду защищать тебя, чего бы мне это не стоило. Мы преодолеем все испытания, горжусь тобой, твой любящий отец. Ну, я так понимаю, это предсмертная записка, типа, да? Че, полезем за янтарем? Да, похер, поехали, полезли. Угу. Что-то его нету, однако, нигде. Фрукты жарит. Так, что-то непонятно тут. Это из-за того, что я его разболтал, что ли? Случилась такая херня. Так, и чё? В итоге я вернулся обратно, да? Здесь кладовка, верно? Верно. Короче, якорцы я вообще не использую. О. Золотой эликсир зато использую. Так, давайте здесь выйдем. Походу не в ту сторону все-таки я пошел.
The Last Supper by Leonardo da Vinci. The last day before his crucifixion, Jesus announces that he will be betrayed by one of his disciples.
Ну, где искать-то его? Так, вот она как раз таки библиотека.
Atrus, the Miller brothers. Mother expressly forbade me from reading it. Duke Manuel?
Well, well, Monsieur de Richet, I was not expecting you.
Сейчас будем раскатывать его.
Sir, I warn you. What do you want from me, sir?
Противостояние. Так, что у него там? Мы знаем, где он есть-то. Годой. Устойчивость к политике у него. Да пофигу, мы захаваем сейчас. Психология. Посмотрим. Непонятно, да? Тоже не показывает.
I see you're still feeling under pressure. Since your arrival, I've noticed that you've been on the defensive. It seems to me that Monsieur Peru has a knack for getting your back up.
That is the least you can say. Indeed. I was warned. I knew what to expect. For God's sake, why in the hell did your people execute their king? Have the French gone stark raving mad? There are nothing but monarchies in power in Europe. They will all come crashing down on you.
We shall see. It might, well, turn out to be the opposite.
You certainly do not lack for audacity, young man. Just
Так,
tell me one thing, monsieur. Why did you side with Mortimer? He is alone, isolated. The United States can do nothing to help you, and France is surrounded by over 10 countries, just waiting for the word to pounce. Really. I do not see why you choose Mortimer.
О, отлично.
The Golden Order, my friend. The Order is everywhere. We come from France. We are President of the United States, England, and many other countries. We have ambitions and the means to carry them out. You'll see, once all hell breaks out and your English support starts to fade away.
Так, я просмотрел. Так,
The Order
оккультизм
is
только,
an
да?
international organization. It matters little what governments do. Otherwise, why would Mortimer have gone to the trouble of inviting my mother?
If you are right, Sir Gregory has got it all wrong. Tell me, do you really believe Spain has any interest in ceding Louisiana to France?
Duke
Да,
Manuel,
мы на все
for
слабости
Spain,
сейчас
I don't
надаем.
know. But for you, I'm convinced that Lord Mortimer will thank you generously.
You would not be trying to bribe me, would you?
Оу.
Nothing could be further from my mind. It would be an insult to believe that someone such as yourself might have a practical attitude towards its virtue. Even so, it is only natural that you be supported and encouraged if you were to follow Lord Mortimer, isn't it?
Indeed, for services rendered, it would be natural for me to receive compensation for the time spent achieving such an undertaking. Yes.
Компенсацию надо.
Naturally. And, given your status, my Lord Duke, the compensation would have to be considerable.
Naturally. Tell me one last thing. What would I gain from all this?
В том, что он может потерять. 3 можно стоит. Указать на его шаткое положение.
My
Да
Lord
пофигу.
Duke, in these uncertain times, I believe it would be to your advantage to be rid of Louisiana in order to focus your attention on your colonies in the South. It will show the court the man you really are and how much you truly deserve your position.
And it will silence all the jibes and jeers aimed at my person.
О,
Then
им
people would only
понравилось.
see me as the man who
Даже
consolidated the
шантажировать не
frontiers
пришлось.
of the Spanish Empire.
What a statesman you are.
О, прям изи.
You fool, give it up. You're trapped like a rat.
Monsieur, I am astounded. I did not think you capable, but you have succeeded. I will be more wary of you the next time. Nonetheless, if you can guarantee Lord Mortimer's support, then yes, you can count on my vote when the time
Ну
comes.
все, вообще изи.
However, I expect you to be discreet with regard to my former partners, without which our agreement will become null and void.
Of course, my Lord Duke. You can count on me. Lord Mortimer will be delighted to hear the news.
I hope you know what you are getting into, Louis. I bid you good luck.
Good night, my Lord Duke. See you tomorrow. Well,
Ту-ду-дум,
that's one thing out of the
ту-ду-дум.
way. Only thing left to do is wait for the conference
Ура.
to resume tomorrow morning.
У нас получилось. Так, отправляться в постель, да? Так, я предлагаю отправиться в обратном порядке и забрать там бутылек, который мы потратили. Ну так-то, в принципе, можно, наверное, со всеми здесь потрахтеть. Только насколько это поможет. Потому что двери у всех открыты. Сейчас кого-нибудь встретим. Я, кстати, этому не сказал-то. Ну, про того типа в коридоре. Так. Показалось. А где бутылек-то? А, вот он. Тин-тин-тин-тин. Так, здесь закрыто. О, интересно, почему там закрыто? Чтоб я больше никуда не ходил? Не, мы главное идем спать, у нас мамаша там где-то в подземелье. Так. Вон-то Вашингтона. Башенная. Понятно, без разницы, в какую сторону, в принципе, бежать. Побежим налево. Нет, так-то тут весело, они, конечно, заговоры плетут. Так, это Вашингтон. Или Вашингтон, как правильно-то.
Monseigneur, His Eminence Cardinal Piaggi.
Так, вот она моя как раз. Ну, картины здесь, конечно, жесткие. Опачки.
Good evening, Monsieur le Français.
Duchess, you're here.
Давно
What a
не
charming
виделись.
surprise. I'm beginning to think you can't be without me.
You have managed to penetrate my armor, sir. Am I disturbing you, perhaps?
О, да
That's
нет,
not what I
чё.
said.
Ah, by the way, you surprised me during the conference.
Why is that?
Понятно, я
Well,
так и думал.
you are going to lose. Why stay with Lord Mortimer?
I believe he has every chance of winning.
My, you are a rash one. However, if ever you want to change sides, please feel free to let me know.
But tell me, you didn't come here to try and make me change my mind, did you?
That's the last thing on my mind. Although you would have
Надо у
everything
него
to gain
выяснить.
by it.
Так. Выяснять, не выяснять, зачем поддерживать Холма. Так, это у нас политика, да, идет? Где она у нас? А, про нее вообще ни черта не понятно. Не буду тратить ни
There's
очки,
no
ни
point
пузырь.
trying to persuade me. Don't hold it against me.
Of course not, silly. Louis, if you trust me, you ought to ask yourself why I have chosen home. You do trust me, don't you?
Of course, Emily. You know you have my full trust.
Louis, you're lying. That's not good. Any more of that and I might get upset.
Вот
Admit,
сучка.
though, that it does make you think. There's still time, you know. Join us before it's too late.
Не-не-не,
Unfortunately,
отказывайся.
my word is my bond. I don't want to leave Lord Mortimer in the lurch.
Непреклонный. Убеждение плюс 1 очко.
Very well, as you wish. It's up to you to decide.
Tell me, are these visits to Mortimer's always so intense?
Yes and no. My sister doesn't normally disappear like she has. Any news of your mother?
Вот черт. Так, уклонение. Уклонение. Не, ну тут однозначно придется врать. Мед у нас остался один, это их...
I haven't had a minute to myself, what with the disappearance of Elizabeth and then the conference. Yes, I hope to continue my investigation tomorrow.
Do you have any leads?
No, not really. That's the problem.
Too bad. Can we change subject, please? I didn't come here to go through all that again.
Of course, it's late. You're right.
Ну все, погнали. Да, анимация, конечно, вообще не айс.
Come, Louis.
И чё?
My friends, do not worry. I assure you that Lord Mortimer's plan will never see the light of day. I shall deal with informing our allies, but for the time being, I need you to make a stand.
What do you think about Monsieur de Richet?
I don't know yet. I feel there's great potential in him. He looks like he can be trusted. And Duchess Hillsborough. Why isn't she here? She's busy. Don't worry about her.
Oh, isn't it time to replace her?
Not so fast, sir. She is an important figure. You ought to have a little more faith in her. What are we going to do about Washington? He will be a hard nut to crack. On our chessboard, he is Mortimer's king. Don't worry. Mr. President only wants one thing. To keep his dear America united. He won't jeopardize everything he has achieved on a whim. He has been serving Mortimer for quite some time. It won't be easy to bring him around. Do you feel all right, Mr. Godoy? You haven't said a word.
Please excuse me, gentlemen. I feel tired.
Oh, I see. I think it is high time you left us then. Now!
Короче, сейчас, наверное, надо будет всех вербовать. Там же, типа, единогласно он говорил, что должны приниматься решения. А у меня банок не осталось. Я их вначале бездумно тратил.
Emily? Emily? Are you there?
Sir, the conference is about to begin. You are expected in the conference room.
Tell them I'm coming. Thank you.
Come on, Louis. The game is back on.
Снова в игре Луи. О!
My friends, the conference is about to begin. Please excuse me if I troubled you last night with my project. I understand that you might well have a few questions to ask. As you know, the final vote will be cast in a few days. This morning's aim is to answer your questions and check the temperature of your respective positions so that we may reach a greater understanding.
As always, Lord Mortimer.
We parted in perfect disagreement, my lord. Where would you like us to take it from?
Come, sir. Please let William believe he still has a chance of winning us over. Otherwise, his imprecations will lack panache, and we shall be bored stiff.
Oh, let me reassure you, I am convinced that a good night's sleep has brought sound advice, and that this morning will be even more interesting. Therefore, I would like to go around the table in order to hear everyone's first impressions.
Well, I am still firmly against it, even though my choice won't count.
Against.
Against. Against.
And you, Duke Manuel?
Well, you see, it is more complicated and it...
Godoy?
Calm, Gregory. Don't try to impress my guests, please.
They are not your guests.
Gregory, anyone under my roof is by definition my guest. You included. I would be very grateful if you would let my guests speak. Duke Manuel, you were saying you still had some doubts?
Well, you see, the situation has changed since last night.
What's going on here, my Lord Duke?
You see, I gave it some thought during the night. New arguments have come to light.
What do you mean, Duke Manuel?
Sir Gregory, I regret to inform you that Spain will not support you in this operation. I vote for. Moreover, in response to arguments brought to my attention, I declare war on France.
What? What is he doing?
If you think France is afraid of you, you are dreaming.
Over 10 nations rise against you, young man, and you behave like a yapping little dog?
When the French armies are at your door, my Lord Duke, you will change your tune. Well, as for me, I am for Lord Mortimer's project, despite Duchess Hillsborough's overwhelmingly convincing nocturnal attentions.
What? So Emily was playing at trying to win over guests last night?
It was nothing more than a friendly little chat, of course.
How could it be otherwise? And by the way, remember me to your husband when you see him. And you, President Washington. What is your position?
4, of course.
Well, that leaves just yourself and Monsieur Peru, Louis.
You're all making me sick. Look at yourselves.
What?
You are pathetic!
Have you been drinking or what?
There you are, quibbling away. My Lord Duke this, and Madame Duchess that. You know very well that we're nothing but puppets on a damn string.
Jacques, really?
Let's end the charade. It's over.
Jacques.
My lord, thank you for everything you've done for me over the years. But it didn't come for free. And now I see the price is too high to pay. I'll stop.
Come, Jacques, we'll talk it over.
No, I'm finished. I want my freedom back, my lord. I shall no longer work for you.
Надо вмешаться, наверное. Чё, чувак, у него там дети, он там приюты. Ну, типа, да, надо вмешаться.
You just can't help it, can you? Stop trying to play the hero, man.
Единственный шанс. Тут надо вообще быть аккуратным. Подумайте о своей дочке. Так, что у него? Психология, слабость. Вот. Капец, последний эликсир пью.
Monsieur, I know I don't really know you, but you seem like a decent person.
I have done so many horrible things.
You blame yourself, I can see that. Everything's not lost.
I don't want to do bad things anymore.
You can take control of yourself again. You can fix whatever it is you've done.
Do you really believe that?
Of course, Jacques. You'll have all the time you need.
Логика. Че вот +1? А, +1 очко, значит. Но орден вам поможет такое. Все будет хорошо, Холм вас защитит тоже такое. Вашей дочери ничего не угрожает. Ну, я почему-то так и думал, что так произойдет. Ну, что теперь? Остальные тоже были неубедительные доводы. Черт. Нифига развилок сколько. Ну, он уже все был неуравновешенный. Чё, нифига себе, сколько уровней дали. Так, ну и что мы будем мапать тут на 8 очей-то? Уклонения у нас есть. Какие-то предметы, связанные с уклонением. Ловкость, наука, оккультизм, манипулирование, языкознание, наука опять. Нету. Ну, значит, мы уклонение апнем, пока у нас есть очи. Очи. Вот нам психология очень сильно пригодилась. Стоит ли тратить 3 очка? Ну да, почему нет? Вот так сделаем. Так, политика у нас есть там? Стоит в политику вкладываться. Ловкость, оккультизм, языкознание, наука. Нету. Плохо. Ловкость 1 очко, у нас осталось 3. Так, а стоп, а психология есть? Блин, я все забываю. Нет. Бдительность я тоже там не припомню. Ловкость можно апнуть. Но ловкость у нас, как правило, 1 очко всегда расходует, но и хрен с ним. Можно подумать над этикетом, но этикет нам редко когда нужен. Психология важнее. Политика вот тоже интересная. О, кстати, допустим, мы если 2 политики... А у нас там 2 даже политики есть, правильно? Где тут? Ловкость, оккультизм, манипулирование. Языкознание. О, нет. А, я уже всю политику изучил. Ё-моё. Задачка. 2 очка распределить. На бдительность или на политику. Одно из двух. Потому что что-нибудь прилетит. Давайте политику. Все-таки по надежной бдительности будет. А книжки... О, а почему мне книжки не дали распределить? Что за эксперт? Максимальное количество очков действия плюс 1 достичь 10 уровня.
I don't understand. I spoke to him only recently.
Monsieur Peru has lost his mind. It's obvious.
Yet another way for
сколько
the
мне
French to make a
восстановили.
spectacle of themselves. Well,
Красота.
once again it has worked.
My friends, let us settle down, please. We are all in shock, of course. Let us praise Louis's gesture anyway. You did what you could.
Yes, it was very noble of you, Louis.
It wasn't your fault.
There was nothing else you could have done.
I think everyone needs a little rest. Can you stay a moment?
Of course.
О, манускрипты. Что изучать, даже не знаю. Ну, ловкость, наверное, изучу. Языкознание, то, что не входит в мой профиль. Культизм. Манипулирование, вот мне еще нравится. Вот эти вот бы найти. Почему их до сих пор не нашел? Сразу по 3. Ладно. Скоро уже изучать нечего будет. Попугай, ты чё мертвый?
Louis, I wanted to talk to you a moment about what has happened. All this is tragic, but I wanted to thank you for doing what you could.
I wasn't able to save him.
You couldn't, Louis. You mustn't blame yourself. It is not your fault.
Да ясен красен. Тикет. Я знал, что это произойдет. Нет, тут однозначно.
I thought I could help him.
I guess it was too late. Don't torture yourself. Look what you've done. I admire what you did. Who else among all these great luminaries of the modern world even raised a finger? No one. You were the only one who tried to do anything. What a waste.
What are your plans now?
What do you mean?
For the conference. After the disappearances of both Elizabeth Adams and my mother, and now the death of Mr. Perlu, I should imagine that your guests are all packing their bags.
This might come as a bit of a shock to you, perhaps because it was so difficult to bring all these figures together. But I'm convinced that none of them is preparing to leave.
Are you serious?
Не будем грубить.
They are all very experienced politicians, and though they are, of course, affected by the situation, they know full well that such an opportunity will not come again for a long, long time, if ever. They each represent their nation, and know full well that what is at stake here is far greater than the death of poor Monsieur Peru. You'll see. I am confident that they will all be ready to resume the conference.
If you say so. Allow me to take my leave, please.
Of course. You ought to get some rest.
Да, и попугай
Oh,
почему?
Louis, one more thing, please.
Господи.
I wanted to thank you for your support during the conference. You've made the right choice, and it gives me tremendous satisfaction to have you with me on this project.
Не, мы будем
What is at
оптимистами.
stake is worth it, my lord. Now, I won't hide from you the fact that I have no idea by what miracle we could ever get a unanimous vote.
Trust me, Louis. We still have a few more cards to play. You'll see. Anything can happen in politics.
I'll see you later, my lord.
Все? Че с попугаем-то? О, ё-моё, нифига, что за эти передвижки? Так, письма. А, не убрал он, смотри-ка. Так, ну-ка давай потрахтим про попугая, про твоего.
I'll see you later, Louis.
А, все, да, типа пошел нахер отсюда. А, я так и думал. Так. Я вот, кстати, думаю, я к статуе тут не подходил. Может, и подходил. Вернитесь в свою комнату. Опять в свою комнату. К мамане-то когда уже? Так, направо бежать. Да там погодка-то вообще не айс.
Yes, sir.
Your yes is not sufficient. Tell the others, for crying out loud.
Эй, чё орёшь?
Monsieur Bonaparte.
Don't feel guilty over Monsieur Peru. You did your best. We just lost a vote for the next conference, and we already had fewer votes than Holm. I must absolutely find a solution.
Да, дело прежде
Yes,
всего.
indeed. But I believe if Lord Mortimer is still confident, it's because he still has a few cards up his sleeve.
I hope so. I sincerely hope so. Unfortunately, that vote of Godoy you acquired is probably not going to suffice.
Well, it's still more than what you've done, isn't it?
I see you have a short fuse, monsieur. As someone who just started a war with Spain, if I were you, I wouldn't get on my high horse so quickly. In short, we haven't a minute to lose. I'll leave you now.
Just a minute.
А, что Эмили
Duchess Hillsborough
предложила?
proposed last night.
Oh, nothing worth worrying about. The pretty little pudding eater found no better tactic than to threaten me. She would have been better off sliding into my bed. At least we wouldn't have wasted part of the night talking for nothing.
Threatened you, you say?
That's what I said. I think I'm going to have to be careful of English troops crisscrossing the Mediterranean for a while. The witch would let loose the wrath of the English crown on my august person. But if she thinks that would scare a Bonaparte,
Августейшая персона.
she is mistaken. Now, Louis, time is running short, and as I said, I'm in a hurry. I have to go now. I will see you later.
Ладно, все, давай. Так, вниз нельзя.
I am sorry, sir, but you are unable to access Monsieur Peru's room while we gather his personal effects.
Понятно. Не пускают.
Monsieur Napoleon Bonaparte.
Так, с Бонапартом только что тарахтели. Этого надо на место поставить. Из Ватикана. Он там разговорчивый, блин, какой-то.
Duchess Emily Hillsborough.
А, можно и к Эмили зайти.
No answer.
Опять где-то шляется.
Nothing.
Emily? Emily, are you there?
Ну все, обиделась.
Emily?
Yes. Louis, is that you?
Yes, let me in.
I'm sorry, Louis. I don't feel very well. I'll see you later.
Are you sure everything's all right? Are you still there?
Нифига. Сейчас мы посмотрим, кого нету в номере. Алло, что зависли-то? А, вот. О, я могу зайти, что ли? Реально? А, ладно. Не хочет, как хочет. Так, кто у нас? Годой, ладно. А нет, Годой, не ладно. Ты тут, дядь?
Monsieur de Richet, I have no time. I was about to join Sir Gregory. Come back later.
I wanted to talk to you a moment
I am expected. I'm sorry. We shall talk later.
Ладно, все, окей. Говорил. А, ну все, я к своей комнате пришел, в принципе.
Next time, I'll listen to my mother. Not a day has gone by without something happening to me.
А чё вы тут матушку-то слушаться? Что, не приезжать сюда?
What now?
Я почему так думал, что так не закончится этот день.
Louis, open up, please.
Вашингтон. По голосу его уже узнаем.
Louis, there you are at last.
Yes,
I
В
just
смысле,
saw your
наконец-то?
mother. She was accompanied by Emily, and they both went into the Duchess's room. I tried to join them, but I was refused entry. Louis, this does not bode well.
Oh shit. Emily might want to avenge her sister. I must act quickly.
You're right, Mr. President. Thank you.
Так. Я в ту сторону? Да, тут. Так. Ну.
I do believe that's Emily's voice. I can't understand what she's saying.
Да открыть дверь, да и все. Взломать замок.
I can't open it. It must be blocked on the other side. I'll have to find another way in, quick.
Так. Так, давайте мы по карте посмотрим. Комната Эмили. Через комнату Бонапарта можно, в принципе, попасть. По балкону. Так.
I have to get inside Emily's room through the... Shit! It's locked.
Да давай взломаем. А чё так? Ну похеру на 2 очка на этих. Странно, кстати, всегда 0 был взлом. Что такое за осмотрительное? Хитрость +1. Не оставили следов. Пам-пам. Ну все. Вы попались, дамы.
It's as if there are several people inside.
Once again, you're the one who's the victim in all this. What are you on about now? I should never have told you what
on
happened to
earth
me.
is... You... Mother?
How dare you do this to me? You can talk after everything I've done for you.
Ooh.
You are joking, I hope, right? I gave you my life. That's enough, Emma. Now that Louis is here, you will leave Sarah alone. Cease your revenge immediately. What? If you think you're going to... Louis, help me, I beg you. I can no longer reason with her. I am Emily. Quit playing games. What? Honestly, don't be ridiculous. No. I am Emily. You are wasting your time. Louis knows very well how to tell us apart. After everything we've been through together.
Yes, well...
Don't you dare bring him into this. This is between you and me. I ask for nothing more, so stop taking it out on Sarah. You prissy little bitch! How dare you! Now that I've told you everything, you want to take my place, do you? You are joking, I hope. I'm the one who told you everything that's been going on while you were away. Go on then. That's what you want, isn't it?
И чё, как мне понять?
Me. Go on then, shoot! After all the trouble I've gone through to find you. Go on. What are you waiting for? Here, Louis, take this.
Wait, what's going...
An entire life for this. Go on, shoot! Sorry, Louis, I can't shoot her. She's my sister. That's enough, Emma. Louis, out of the way. She's dangerous. Don't trust her. What are you trying to do? Louis, out of the way! I am not Emma! Come on, Louis, tell her who the real Emily is.
Wait,
That's right, Louis. I'm fed up with this little game. Tell him who the real Emily is.
Why do these things always happen to me?
Well, Louis, come on, you know how to tell us apart, right?
Yes, but I'd like to ask you a few questions to make sure there's no doubt.
Rational and open, Louis. Let's see. How can I tell them apart? Wait, I've got an idea.
On the night of our arrival,
ну, впереди, конечно, надо девушку спрашивать. Что вы мне дали?
I wasn't feeling very well, and you gave me something. What was it?
My handkerchief. And you even kept it. It was stained with your blood. Louis, I already told her. This is all a waste of time. The one who told you.
Крутяк.
Right. Let's find something else. Ah, yes. Let's speak about my arrival at the manor.
Да, опять уже впереди. Хотя... Как нас встретил Мортимер?
On the night of our arrival, we were warming ourselves in front of the fire. Mortimer welcomed us in a certain way. What happened exactly?
Well played, Louis. Unfortunately, I'm not the one you should have asked that question to. Mortimer did not welcome us. It was Sir Gregory who welcomed us that night. Mortimer didn't show up until 2 days later. I know that as well.
Very well.
Let's try something else.
On the first night, we went up to bed, but I wasn't tired. I went for a little stroll.
Первую ночь мы разошлись по комнатам, я не мог заснуть и вышел прогулять. Я уже не помню, что. Да надо ту спрашивать, которая с оружием. В чем вы меня упрекнули, что я у вас забрал? И не то, не канает, да? Мы разговаривали.
Get a chance to speak?
Certainly not. I was exhausted and went to bed. Don't think you're going to get away with this deception so easily. I can assure you, you're going to regret pretending to be me once Louis has exposed you.
Right. I don't think I'll get very far like this. Something better.
Oh, I don't think I'll even wait until he's finished.
Take it easy now.
Are you mad, Louis?
Lower your arm.
I better act quickly if I don't want things to get out of hand.
Come on, she's putting one over on you. Look at yourself for crying out loud. You were prepared to shoot me down.
In the secret room behind the study. Talk to them about what you've been doing. Maybe they haven't spoken about it between each other yet.
On the night of the disappearance of Elizabeth Adams.
What about it? What do you want to know about that night?
Мне почему-то кажется, что сзади которая. Что мы нашли? Или где мы оба оказались?
In the portrait gallery, we found ourselves in a singular situation. What happened to us?
We both went around the manor all night like sleepwalkers, searching. And that's how we found ourselves in Mortimer's private gallery, behind the chimney. That doesn't prove a thing. I told you all that. That's enough! I've had enough of this charade. Louis, there's only one way to tell us apart. There's just one thing I didn't tell her about in detail.
Ну-ка, давай.
Too bad for you, Emma. I didn't want it to come to this, but you leave me no choice. Ask her about you and I. You just lost, Emma. I indeed didn't tell you everything about it. Come, Louis. Speak about our intimacy.
Very well. Let's talk about us.
Я вообще запутался. Давай. Почему вы решили зайти ко мне прошлой ночью? Почему мы жили прошлую ночь вместе? Психология. А чё психология у нее слабая, нет? Так, слабости мы не знаем, да? Да.
Last night, you came to visit me, and I can't help wondering why. Why did you come to my room?
Louis, you must be mistaken. I did not go to your room last night, and that's where your little game ends, Emma. because I never told you about it. So, there you can't answer. What? No! You didn't do that. I didn't want you to be jealous of Louis. Remember how you always used to react whenever you felt you were competing against a man? You dirty...
That's enough. I've had enough of this charade.
That's enough, both of you. Now I know who the real Emily is.
Так, подождите. Вопрос очень интересный. Прошлой ночью одна была у меня, одна у Наполеона. Блин, я вообще запутался. Это отдала... Не, Эмили напротив.
It's you, Emily.
No, Louis! She is manipulating you!
Ой, что, я угадал?
No, Emma. It's her. I know it. Despite all the trouble you've gone to put one over on me, I know it is her.
That's enough now, Emma. You little slut! Don't think you are going to get away with this so easily. You are going to stop your little game right now. Never. I am Duchess Hills. No.
Emily?
I am the Duchess.
But...
You don't. Dear God, what have I done? See what you've done. See?
Louis?
Mother!
What on earth is...
Go away! You must go. Everyone is going to arrive.
Louis, what's going on?
Duchess, is everything all right?
Come on, Louis. There's nothing more you can do.
But I...
Leave us.
Emily, what's going on?
Mother, go to the crypt. I'll meet you there.
I'll be waiting for you.
Emily.
Madam, I am coming in.
It was bound to end like this, Louis. Let me stay with her. Please. Go. I'll cover you.
Так, короче, вроде я правильный выбор сделал, да? Я, говорит, прикрою тебя. Че меня прикрывать-то? Ты же шлепнула, не я. Так. И чё, и как мне вылазить отсюда? А, вот. Надо бегом отсюда уходить. Так, ну вроде правильный выбор сделал.
Good God. They're all here. They must have heard the gunshot.
Where is Lord Mortimer?
Can anyone hear anything through the door?
Так, ну а чё, надо подойти и тупорылым
Did you
представиться.
hear that? I was not dreaming, was I?
Certainly not, Duke Godoy.
What's going on?
Someone had the bang coming from the Duchess's room. She isn't answering. Gentlemen, go back to your rooms. Go back to your rooms. I shall find out from Lord Mortimer what this is all about. Thank you.
Так, так, так. Мне вниз надо. Ну, пойдем с мамашей встретимся. Так, по-моему, что-то я не туда пошел. Да. Наоборот, надо в обратную сторону. Так, ничего здесь не появилось нового. Вроде нет. Так, ну здесь уже все обследовано давным-давно. Так, где выход? Столовая. Двор. А, то есть... Блин, что-то я вообще заблудился. Я помню, что я выходил через улицу. Ой, через дверь. Оконную.
Lord Mortimer certainly has a taste for
Ну.
stage rooms.
Я говорю, что здесь у меня нету выхода. Только где я выходил? Вот в чем вопрос. Но это явно было с первого этажа сделано. Да ё-моё.
Chronicles of the Amber Princes. As I recall, Dorkin was my favorite character.
Ладно, сейчас найдем. О. А вот за... Опа, опа, опа.
Light water will give me a little reprieve.
Да, она сейчас крайне нужна. А, вот он выход. Что-то тут у нас еще... А, я все подобрал. Блин. Так, ну мы...
At last, there you
Ну
are.
ладно.
Mother, wait,
Come, we have to be quick.
No, wait, Mother,
Time is running out, Louis. First, we must...
No! That's enough. I won't go a step further unless you explain to me what is going on here. I'm begging you. Talk to me.
You must trust me, my son. You are not ready yet.
You're the one who should trust me. Tell me what's happening.
You would never believe me.
I came all the way here for you. Now I've found you. I'm ready, Mother.
If only... Louis, I have always taught you to keep your mind open and rational. I know you are going to find this hard to believe, but what I am going to reveal to you is entirely true. Many years ago, I found out that demons really do live among us.
I beg your pardon?
And that they can influence our thoughts.
Mother, listen to yourself. I know you're exhausted, but for crying out loud, listen to what you're saying. Demons? What next? An ancient monster with a head like an octopus? What do your demons look like? Have they got horns and a pointed tail?
No, these are not creatures with billy goat's legs. Forget your Christian folklore. Imagine them more as parasitic spirits. They possess their hosts and direct them from inside.
Parasitic spirits?
Yes, they are capable of going from one body to another as they see fit. And 2 of them are present on this island.
Right. So let me guess.
Домовой Дед Мороз.
Lord Mortimer and Sir Gregory, right?
You felt it too?
No, even if Home does look the part. But I don't know who else could do it, given that we're on their territory.
Many years ago, well before you were born, I crossed paths with one of them. Since then, I've spent my life trying to find it again. When we recovered the Alizif, I was persuaded that von Burchard was working for this demon in one way or another. But I thought he would hand the book to a middleman during this conference. That's where I made an error that could well turn out to be fatal. The one who Burchard was meant to give the book to was none other than the demon in person, Mortimer. Not to mention that Home had sent Volner to get it for him.
Home and Mortimer are demons?
They both seem to disagree about many things, but I'll admit I never knew exactly why. There are many of them, Louis, not just those 2.
Mother, have you any proof to support any of this?
Of course, but you do too. You had everything laid out in front of you. Didn't you notice anything?
Все доказательства у тебя под носом. Да чё я заметил? Да не заметил я ни черта.
Mother, I shan't follow you down that path. I wouldn't be doing you any favors.
Rational and open, Louis. Tell me then, how can anyone own properties all over the world for centuries, always having signed documents with the same signature?
Well, I can find 10 other explanations less eccentric than demonic possession, Mother.
How come the Mortimers have had only one male heir for each generation since the Third Crusade?
Forgery, family rights, where they get rid of the daughter. There are dozens of less extravagant possibilities.
How could one man motivate so many future leading figures of the day on his silly island without anyone finding out about it? Even the Golden Order isn't capable of that.
Well, he's simply better than us, and he's welcome to it.
You refuse to open your eyes, Louis.
You've lost your objectivity, Mother.
I saw him.
What do you mean you saw him?
I was 20 years old. I was young and carefree. I traveled the world in search of adventure. In the Persian Gulf, we came across an ancient grimoire that became unlocked. Composed of 7 parts, each one was a book in itself, set in a sort of metal armor that structured the whole thing. When all the volumes were brought together, they formed a single book. On my return to Paris, I set to studying these pages. I spent all my days and nights studying them.
Oh, I can imagine you doing that.
But the writing was in a language I had never seen before, developed well before Sumerian, in my opinion. So I got the idea to form a small occult circle composed of all the major names in the occult world to see if anyone else could crack it.
And you found no one.
And I found someone, Louis. I found him, or rather he found me. He was young, charismatic, he was flamboyant.
You mean Mortimer?
He was a veritable mine of knowledge. I showed him the book, and he was able to decipher a few passages. We spent several months together studying the pages.
He was already old in those days, wasn't he? So you recognized him when you arrived on the island, right?
No, he wasn't in that body. But I know it was him. I swear it was him. The way he spoke, his posture, a few of his intonations, his mannerisms.
Wait a minute. You were talking about 60 years ago. I've lost the thread.
Yes, sorry. He helped me understand certain passages until I realized that he only translated a few parts for me. But I had aroused his interest. It was too late.
How so?
I mean to say he manipulated me. He used me, and in the end, he stole the book with all its secrets.
Did he ever go to your place?
Not once. At least I don't think so. But before disappearing, he proposed a pact between us. He proposed that I follow him and let him teach me, allow him to bring me up.
And you refused, of course.
Why, naturally, Louis. You don't make deals with the devil. After that, I spent my whole life looking for him. 3 years later, in Berlin, I just missed him. In London, I lost 6 members of the order in a chase. In 1741, in Tunisia, I found a sect of fanatics who had crossed paths with him once. 1741, in Poland. 1749, in India.
8 years ago in Venice.
We agreed never to speak about what happened in Venice, Louis.
Чё, надо настоять?
You agreed, and that was before you spoke to me about demons. Wait, the baby we delivered, you and me, that night in Venice, did he have anything to do with Lord Mortimer?
The child was his son.
We stole his son? Are you insane? I always thought we took him to save him.
That was the case. It was precisely to save him from his father.
Need I remind you the mother died during childbirth? What became of the child?
Later. For the moment, that is not the key issue here. Once we found the Al-Azif in Paris, I followed von Borchart's trail here. I didn't think it would lead me straight to the demon. It was careless of me. He toyed with me for a few days, until I caught on, until I saw him as he was. But he had no intention of letting me leave. We are all his pawns, Louis, and if we don't want to spend the rest of our lives turning round in circles here, we must absolutely get off this island.
Все,
All
бежим.
right, can we move on?
Wait a minute. One last thing.
Давай
I
все
want
по
to know what
очереди.
happened with Elizabeth Adams.
Louis, we haven't time for those details.
Я
I'm
должен
sorry,
знать.
Mother, but I want to know.
She was one of the receptacles for these monsters. I met her parents when she was born. One of the demons got inside her. The demon used her to spy on her father, John Adams. He is one of the founding fathers and vice president of the United States, you know.
Mortimer possessed her?
No, I don't think it was Mortimer. Her father, John Adams, hired me to tend to her, but the evil in her was too deep. In spite of the various treatments I tried on her, I never succeeded in getting it out of her. It's not something I'm proud of, Louis, but I had to try everything.
Mother, did you kill her?
Of course not. Don't be stupid. I had no interest in getting rid of her.
Угу.
I
Давайте
want to know what
прямо.
happened between you and Emily's sister.
Great responsibility often brings difficult choices, Louis. That's all you need to know.
Mother,
Всё
I
сейчас
won't
же.
take a step further if you don't answer me.
You dare blackmail me?
I'm listening.
All right, I used her. So there you are. Happy now? We had the Al-Azif, and I didn't think we would be able to escape with it. In order to ensure that the book did not fall into their hands, or that one of them couldn't read in us where we had hidden it, I asked Emily to...
It's Emma.
Yes, or rather for me, it was Emily. So I asked Emma to hide it without anyone seeing, and then I disposed of her. I am sorry for her, but she was part of the Golden Order, Louis. She knew the rules when she joined.
Как они обе оказались-то, блядь, в этом? Я понять не могу.
What did you negotiate about the Al-Azif with Volner?
Absolutely nothing. I managed to pull the wool over his eyes until I found a way to flee.
Угу.
I want to know what happened between
Ай,
you and
опять,
Emily's
блин,
sister.
нажал.
Great responsibility often brings difficult choices, Louis. That's all you need to know.
All right, but you're not getting away with it so lightly. Once we get back to Paris, be sure I won't be letting it go.
We'll see
Блин,
in Paris.
вообще еще и то сбросилось. А нет, все.
What was going on with the cannons in Tuscany?
It was nothing.
Since when does the Order finance wars?
The cannons for that Bonaparte fellow? Listen, once in the lion's den, I did whatever I could to appear legitimate. So yes, I pretended to be interested in Mortimer's project about a young military man who was seeking funding for a foundry in Tuscany. Between you and me, if buying China would have enabled me to escape, I would have signed without hesitation.
Так, понятно.
Samuel Ritter du Choix. You wanted to send me a letter about Godoy.
I wanted you to run a check on Duke Manuel. But frankly, it doesn't really matter anymore now. Godoy is just a pawn like the others. He is not the one I was looking for.
Угу.
You know, I found your package under a wharf plank.
As a matter of fact, I needed it yesterday. I wasn't expecting anyone to take it.
On the evening of my arrival, Cardinal Piaggi came looking for you. He was determined to give you a letter.
More of his lists. Louis, I think I know what's in that letter, and I beseech you to believe that it is the least of our worries. We can sort that out later.
Are you going to tell me what happened to your hand?
Better than that, I shall show you.
Понятно.
Good.
Ладно,
I
пройти.
think that's about right. We shall speak about it once we get back to France.
Great actions for humanity have been decided by demons for centuries, Louis. They are playing with our destiny. We are their slaves. And it's time for it to stop. By the way, what was Mortimer's project at this conference?
He wants the United States to occupy all the North American territory. France should recover Louisiana and give it to the United States. In that case,
The Americans would just have to push west to chase the Spanish from the continent once and for all.
And as Mortimer controls Washington, you may just as well say that it will put him at the head of a world superpower. We should do our utmost to put a stop to Mortimer's plans. But for the time being, there are more pressing matters.
Ничего себе.
Are you going to tell me why we're here?
There. That's why we are here.
Bethesda написано. О. Я мог узнать решение Наполеона. Я мог поговорить с Пьяджо о его мотивах. Я мог узнать что-то новое об Аль-Вазифе. Не, ну так-то все нормально сделал. Ну. Черт.
Reassure me, we aren't going to have to force that one, are we?
I don't think we're even capable of doing it. You're going to have to find a way to open it.
Why, of course. And what's inside?
Something to vanquish them with?
Perfect. So, how does it open?
We'll need several keys. I found a note from the architect who conceived the mechanism in Mortimer's secret study. We have to first gather 5 objects before we try anything.
Are the 5 objects the keys?
Exactly. We have the Clement III cross, the nails, the Gutenberg Bible, the exegesis of Judas, an armillary sphere, and all we need to match up the dates between the different calendars.
Why a cross?
Well, I haven't the foggiest idea, but it just so happens that's what you are going to use to activate the mechanism. I found the one Mortimer kept. It belonged to Cardinal Guibert, better known by the name of Pope Clement III.
Perfect. Where is it?
Unfortunately, I've lost it. When I lost my hand, I went dashing out, and it must have fallen from my pocket.
А, вон чё.
Remember, Mother. I'm certain you can remember.
Let me think.
You were running.
I was bleeding to death.
You remember the pain.
I thought I was going to faint. Yes, I remember. I don't think it can be far, can it?
Would you have lost it outside?
No, I don't think so. It must be in the area. I don't remember going up with it.
Perfect. I'll search the crypt before leaving.
Some
nails?
Don't ask me. I'm not the one who made the mechanism, you know. When I arrived, there were already a few of them inserted, so I didn't have to worry about those. On the other hand, I remember seeing some in Mortimer's secret study, behind his nightmare.
In a golden cup? Yes. Yes, I saw them too.
Perfect. It will be easy for you to find them then. You need 3 of them.
Very well.
You remember what to do about the rollers. 1191 to enter, and 6466 to exit.
Of course. An exegesis. Anything else?
Did you manage to vanquish the Medusa?
To open the chimney? Yes, absolutely.
So you've already come across it. It's the Bible of Judas that is exposed in the secret room behind the chimney.
Why do they call it an exegesis?
Because that's what it is, and not an apocryphal Bible, strictly speaking. It's the study of a text with a summary, not an actual Bible. Anyway, well done for the Gorgon. You did well. You didn't get tricked by the light bouncing back.
Thanks. Do you think I can take it safely?
We haven't got a choice, Louis. Without it, we won't be able to work out this cursed mechanism.
Так.
This is the book in which you left your correspondence with Duchess Hillsborough, isn't it?
That's right.
You still believe it's in the tower room, don't you?
I don't know. There is only one way to find out, though.
Да понятно, чего лишние слова-то.
There's one in the portrait gallery.
Yes, but it's enormous. If you don't want to have to go back and forth several times, then I suggest you get a smaller one.
Где-то я видел сферу маленькую.
I didn't think I'd need one. I started without one, and I lost my hand before I did need one. And you can see the result.
What do you mean by the concordance of dates exactly?
Don't worry about that. We already have them. They are written on the back of the message I just gave you.
Угу. Так, все, вернулся.
One last thing before you go. Be very careful. If you come across anyone, they can all potentially be spies of Mortimer or Holm. Don't ever confide in anyone because a demon can slip inside them at any moment.
Wait, not all of them though. Take Washington.
Especially Washington. He's been conditioned by Mortimer for years. Look at them, for crying out loud. How do you explain their behavior otherwise? The most influential politicians in the Western world gather together without the least protection, without a single aid to assist them, to participate in a conference during which the guests start dropping like flies. Me, Adams, Peru, Hillsborough. Look at the number of calamities that have happened over the past few days. And not one of them has asked to leave the island? Do you find that normal? You'll see. Go up to the manor to look for the keys, and I wager not one of them will speak to you about my being in Emily's room.
Do you think so?
Go on, you'll see. And come back with all the objects in one go. Time is against us. And remember, the code to get out of the secret office is 6466.
64-66. Запишу даже. Так, ну а что у нас тут с манускриптами? У нас все вообще печально и плохо. Я последние изучаю, все, у меня в принципе их нету, я не знаю, где их даже искать. Вот. По навыкам тоже я уровень не получил, блин. Чуть-чуть прям не хватило. А так бы 4 бы сейчас мы распределили как раз. Раз. И вот. Или вот, например, бы ловкость. Хотя ловкость не нужна. Сюда бы бахнули и сюда бы бахнули. Вот те 4. Следующий уровень уже бы что-нибудь другое распределили. Ну ладно, что теперь. Так, на этом серию будем завершать. Всем спасибо за просмотр. Что-то я прям увлекся аж на 3,5 часа. Завис. Вот. Приходите обязательно еще. Всем пока.